What day is this?
Christmas Eve, sir.
Hanukkah is the festival of lights. One day of presents, hell no, we get the 8 crazy nights.
Come dancing with me, Papa Grimbo.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good evening, good morning. How is everybody? This fine, weird twilight zone of we call it Bena Schmussos. In as I said it wrong, Bena Schmussos, Bena Schmussos, Schmatos, Bena Timishishes, Bena Schmussos. Right? It is the between time. We are in the between times. It is not quite the piss up. That is New Year's Eve, but not quite the turkey-rific indulgence fest that was Christmas. Sometime in between. Is it worth going back to work or not? Well, a lot of us do, a lot of us don't. Who knows? Who knows or dares to dream, right? But it's that weird in-between time. That's where we are. We are neither here nor there. So you didn't get a new intro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I thought about it. I thought, nah. No, you know what? The truth is this. I'm making too much bloody content. It's not. I'm making lots of different content. The content I'm making is a lot more in-depth and takes a lot of time. Here, let me show you what we got coming up. All right. And, you know, I also had a fraught interplay with my cat Ninja, which I have to recount as well. I think that a Ninja probably got the better of it, and he knows it. But you know, that's because Ninja's the ninja baby, right? Ninja knows what he's doing. Oh, I had a sweetener there, but I hope I didn't put it in by mistake. That made that coffee too sweet. Anyway, I digress. I talked about we're in the weird in between times. I remember that happened, right? That happened. You know, I'm always wondering, what reality am I in? Oh, we're in this one. Heavy. What will next year bring? So anyway, we're in Bena Schmussos, and then we're talking about a lot of stuff this year. Man. Oh, yeah, because I've been doing a lot, building a lot of content. Here, let me pull this up. There you go. Doink. Over here, I think. No, wrong one. Over here. Doink. So if I go over, let's go up to here. So there's a lot of very labor-intensive content I've been working on. Let me show you what the roster's going to be, because we got a lot coming up. We really do. It's very strange. We also have more stuff, but it's going to be illegal. Well, we have this tonight, right? Oh, Your Majesty will breaks my heart. I'm glad you don't have to see the mess the world's become. But man, do I miss you? Right? Do I miss you? Paddy Constantine, man, did you? Who knew you were going to knock it out the park like that? Bloody hell. That was a performance and made a character and made a show to a great extent, I think. Yeah. Like his performance will be the shadow the rest of the series lives in, right? Stunning. Almost a complete inverse of whoever this troglodyte is standing next to him, the black elf woman who's black and elfish, and just why? Right? I mean, really, has anybody ever read Lord of the Rings and said, these dwarves sound interesting? I wonder what they're like fucking each other. Yeah, and do they get the jungle fever? Right? You know, like what weird fuck does that? Who reads Lord of the Rings and goes, I wonder what the home life of the dwarves are like. I mean, elves, yeah. I love to see elves fucking. Bloody hell, I bet that's hot. Right? As long as it's not Galadriel from nobody from the Rings of Power, not those elves. They're all gay and creepy. Oh. Yeah. it was a weak end to the year, wasn't it? Rings of power. Fuck you, that was awful. Anyway, we're going to be going through July to December. It's going to be a long bloody time. If you have time, we're going to be looking at Harry Potter rebooted. Yeah, I mean, like, are they going to reboot it without J.K. Rowling? So, like, that's basically what you need to do at this point. But maybe all those idiot children will go, well, we need it done afresh now. Ooh. Now we've got to get J.K. Rowling out of it. Oh, yeah. I mean, I get. Oh God, they're awful. And the horror of Frost and G4 TV. Yeah, that didn't work out well. Who knew? Anybody with a functioning brain cell, right? But anyway, that's Tonight Show. And so this Tonight Show took some time to prepare for. Then, right, tomorrow we have this fucking insane article. Right. Oh my God. Your brain can't comprehend it. It's CBR, your friends at CBR, of course, hoping that David Tennant's Doctor return as a Doctor will be a blow to toxic fans. Right. And I'm like, but it is a blow to toxic fans. Right. You're the toxic fan. It's a blow to you. Right. So apparently this whole article goes on, and basically says he wants David Tennant's Doctor to explicitly state that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is awesome, right, and the bestest ever, right? He has to explicitly state that. Otherwise, it's I don't know, but this is part of the ongoing implosion of the genuine toxic fandom. And please, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen out there, may I say, whenever one engages with those in toxic fandom, please be clear to label them thus, right? It's branding, baby. Branding is everything, right? Toxic fandom, we see these people, and you hear people complaining about David Tennant being called skinny, right? So you're like, stop, just stop. It's insane. Anyway, so that's tomorrow, right? But Saturday, New Year's Eve. So problem is this: New Year's, I'm 2 hours ahead of you. So like New Year's for me is 2 a.m, and I'm in bed by. I want to be in bed by 9. Actually, I do. With whom is the question? So what I've done a parallel stream? Parallel to what this is, but looking at it from a slightly different direction. So from this, we go through all the magazine covers from SFX and Doctor Who magazine over. It took forever. I was over an hour in, and I'm only 6 months. I'm like, really? Because you go over each side, and you see the pulse of the year as it happens. It's fascinating. It's like I feel a bit like Ozymandias in Watchmen. Like you get this weird overview, right? And you really do. You see all the girl bosses, right, over and over. Girl boss, and they fell, like girl boss fell. Like. Cucked man, girl boss, cucked man, right? Over and over again. It's really weird when you see it on like fast forward like that. It's like the time machine, when the fashion kept changing and on the mannequins, right? So so this is we learned through the first 6 months. I mean, you forgot how awful something. Your brain erased it for you to protect you. You forgot how awful Baby Leia was, right? I mean, she fucking awful. Oh. God, I hope she was going to be sold to slavers and raped and murdered. Quite frankly, I couldn't stand her. Right? Oh, God, awful. Well, I mean, marginally better than Reva, the stunning and brave. Oh, God. Oh, I didn't even see Lady Thor, but then again, nobody else did. So this is going to be. I think this is going to start in the UK. I think about 6 or 7. This goes over an hour, right? But then at 11 o'clock, Join me. Ta-da! Countdown to 2020 part 2. Hogmanay. Rabbi for another place. Hogmanay. Thank you, Millie. Thank you, Nicola, for adoring another wonderful thumbnail. Yes. Yes. So starting at midnight, right? Now I've timed this exactly, including the 2-minute premiere timer, right? I timed this exactly. So when we get to the last minutes, we have a countdown clock for the last minute to 2023, and we get fireworks, and I come and say a New Year's blessing message. But that's how this countdown works. This is going to be at 11 o'clock UK time. The Rabbi of another planet, Hogmanay, taking the piss as the sands of time run out for 2022. Rabbi, I don't think that's a caber you're tossing. You'll be wrong there, Millie, darling. That's a bloody caber, darling. I didn't know they made them that small. Yes, they do. They come in small, medium, and Jewish. Was that Nicola? Yes, I know. We love you too. Anyway, so if you so wish, you can count down the last hour of the year with me as we go through like the last 6 months worth of covers and take the piss. And remember how much shit went down. It's so bizarre. You forget. Oh, you know, this is what I realized, right? That reality is on fire, but nobody realizes it because we have a few alarm systems for Western civilization being on fire, right? Like media. We have like an accountable news media. But like all that stuff's been circumvented and turned off. All our alarm systems. So everything's on fire. Like everything's on fire. But like, you know, the accountability of politicians, no, been turned off. Like everything's been circumvented and, you know, disabled. So everything's on fire, and that's what this year's been like, and nobody's noticed, right? Because we kept telling everything is fine, everything is fine. There is nothing to see here. So let me see. I just got a notification. I might have to put a password in. We'll find out in a minute. Anyway, so yeah, but we'll get to the chat in a second. Oh, my life's a living hell. I got to put my password in without saying it out, right? Because that would be dumb. It's that. Oh, that was agony. Oh, Nicola, thank you for giving me the support I needed to get through that. Yes, thank you very much. Yay! 1 second, that thing. Right, excellent. Very happy about that. Fine. So yeah, as I said, you can see it, but like this took an insane amount of work. I have to tell you, this took an insane amount of work to pull off, and you have all the thumbnails there. You're welcome. I think I did well on the thumbnails. Also, by the way, on the channel, this was yesterday. Doctor Who media meltdown. The fact the media is melting down is the story, essentially. Normie media explodes with excitement. You thump. Oh, you're gonna get the carpet sticky. Be quiet, Jody. Christmas excitement surprise. A Christmas trailer. If they're excited now, wait till they hear about me. Yes, indeed, Frobisher, indeed. I think we're seeing Frobisher. And I think we're seeing Frobisher. I think we're seeing Absalom Dak. I do. Somebody said in the chat a great idea who to play, but I can't remember who they said. But it was a great idea. I said Henry Cavill, but whatever they said was better. And now I've forgotten it, which is a real bummer. But yeah. I mean, I'd love to see Absalom Dak. Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, wouldn't it be crazy if we somehow fallen into a cartoon universe? I know. There's a lot that could be going on. I'm excited about it. And also, Dr. Never. I like this feature. I like all the what if features. So this is a classic specials that should have, could have been in another reality, especially the Fifth Doctor one, with Jan Francis playing the Doctor. And this was brilliant, right? So it was P.J. Hammond supposedly writing the script with where the Doctor enters the realm of British pantomime, right, in the British subconscious sleepy times or something like that, right, in our subconscious. And because he's in the pantomime realm, the pantomime law manifests, and he becomes a pantomime hero who's always played by a woman. So Jan Francis becomes the Fifth Doctor, for the episode, which was done because what's his name? Peter Davison wouldn't have the time off from filming Sink or Swim. So I just thought that's such a really clever little detail, and that's the sort of thing that really worked, right? And we all want to see the Third Doctor make a splendid Christmas dinner. Come on, Benton, pull a cracker. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we haven't had a Third Doctor Christmas special from Big Finisher. I know why, because Nick Briggs doesn't like Christmas. Essentially, bar humbug, right? Bar bloody humbug. Fine, let me get to the chat. Speaking of bar humbug, look at that. Only 17 minutes in, I'm at the chat already. I didn't tell you about Ninja. Whoa! Before we get to chat, we got to talk about Ninja. Ninja Dennis Rodman me last night, right? Just totally Dennis Rodman me. After I came up from recording the first hour of this epic amount of content I created, right? So came upstairs, and my daughter had taken the turkey from our Sabbath Christmas out the fridge for people to take for dinner, take it up. Ninja had alighted to the countertop and was gnawing on the turkey and really having a good time, right? So I'm like, oh. So I was like, Ninja, screamed at him, no, Ninja, no, right? And not only that, I'll say, he flinches, but it's more like a micro expression, like for a second. Then he goes, I'm just going to Dennis Rodman him. I'm going to Dennis Rodman him. And I'm going to keep eating this delicious turkey. What is Dennis Rodmaning, right? You may ask. I will tell you what Dennis Rodmaning is. So one time, Dennis Rodman was in bed with two, I don't know, porn stars, ladies of the night, both, neither. I'm not sure, but he was in bed with them. I believe they were all naked, right? Or in some form of erotic undress, right? That's how I think it was going down. And then in walks his wife, the gorgeous, the beautiful Carmen Electra, right? I think it was his wife, or maybe it was his girlfriend. I don't know, but I think that it was his wife. And Carmen Electra is a bit perturbed, as one would think, right? I wonder if she jiggles with, like in this fantasy version of it. Why is she wearing a bikini and heels? Don't ask. Don't ask. It's Vegas, baby. It's Vegas. Anyway. She says, "Well, who are these girls in the bed?" And Dennis Rodman looks at her and goes, basketball player Dennis Rodman, and looks at her and says, "What girls, baby? What girl?" He just like refused to acknowledge they were there. That's very important, right? That's not very important. That's very impressive, right? But that's what Ninja did to me to eat the turkey. So I went and moved him. Finally, it's like, right. And man, he really liked the turkey. Boy, like if somebody had some turkey went by him, you could hear his head go, turkey. I'll suck your dick for turkey. And I bet he would. He liked it that much. I've never wanted my dick sucked by a cat, though, I have to tell you. Not a cross species fantasy that I could really get behind, right? I don't think I can get behind many cross species fantasies, quite frankly. I'm a strictly human being person myself, right? Even anthropomorphized. See, I'm not a furry. I'm not into that at all. But like, let's say who? Let's say what cartoon bunny sort of thing would I go for? None. I mean, like the hottest cartoon is, other than Wilma Flintstone, is the girl bunny from Bugs Bunny. I mean, you got like what's her name? From Who Framed Roger Rabbit. What's the name of the character again? Jessica Rabbit. That's who it is. I mean, but again, I don't know. Not really. I'm a human being kind of person, really. Would I like to shank Jessica Rabbit? No, she's a bit. Again, it's too much. It's too weird, right? A human version of her, sure, absolutely. That would work. But there you go. But I don't think it will go on for very long. I think it'll be over awfully soon. So let's get to the chat. Dave Mullen. I miss Her Majesty. Oh, I miss Her Majesty too. I mean, man, it's amazing how we all feel we have an intimate connection with her. Yeah, I mean, I never met her. But it really is. I mean, I think that's the that's a really majestic thing, that I think a lot of us do feel like we had an intimate connection with the Queen, right? It's and like she'd been there all our lives, right? But yeah, we liked her when she became a smiling granny, right? We liked that Queen. That was a fun Queen. Like this Queen, when she's smiling, which she did a lot as she got older. I think she relaxed a bit. It seemed. I don't know. So yes, I miss it too. I do miss it too. Jordan Lee asks, have you seen Tulsa King? No, I haven't. I saw it's got what's the name? Hang on. Not John Travolta. I don't think it's his name. What's the guy's name again? Sylvester Stallone. That took me forever. But that's all I know. I know nothing about it. And I only think it's Sylvester Stallone. Could be somebody else from I know. Rob, anybody says, oh, you thought 2023 may actually get a decent story with a decent doctor. I'm thinking more than one decent doctor. I'm sure Cosplay Jodie Niaz will be crying when it does better than all their put together. Of course it's going to do that. Literally, that's what's going to happen. That's what I think the ratings are going to be like, all right? That everybody globally will see this thing. Like, I want to add up all of Jodie's ratings together. I mean, I think it can't be more than. Oh, how many episodes has she done? It's she did 11 her first year, then 10 to 21, 30. So she's done 30 episodes, right? 30 episodes. What am I trying to work out again? So 30 episodes, average that at 6, right? It's pretty high. So 30 times 6 is 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. Was it 9? So was it? Well, now I've lost the math. Was it? So yeah, okay. So it is 30. Oh, why don't I just use a calculator? Arsehole that I am. Oh my god. God, duh. I forgot human beings made tools. So it's 30 times 6. It's not 10. No, anyway, we'll try that again. 30 times 6 million, right? So it's got to be 180 million. If one episode gets more, it's not going to get. Wouldn't that be crazy? If like 1 billion people see it, one episode gets more than all Jodie combined. That'll be crazy. Or 500 million people see it. I could see that happening. I could totally see that happening. Poor old Bernard Crimmins. Well, he's in a better place. I believe he's in a better place. I think he's in. I think he's in a. If there's a heaven, he deserves to be there. Had the Queen lived another 2 years at least, we would have beaten the French with the record longest reigning monarch of Europe. Never mind. Listen, the truth is, culturally, she was the queen of the world. So, there's that. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde is it. How you doing, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde? Echoes or thumbs to you. So back to silent. How are you? 300 years ago, the Scottish tried to get a king that wasn't German. 300 years that they'd have a different German king. Okay, there you go. Yeah, okay, fine. Let me start whizzing. Colin Archer is here. How you doing? Every time I see the meme of Jodie Ecky Thumb, I want to hit her with a black pudding. Well, it's gonna go away. So one day it'll be a thing of the past. We'll look back and go Ecky Thumb, and we'll laugh, right? And I think that's gonna stick with her more than anything else. Colin Archer. It's about it just says vital messengers. Did you send me a message? Let me just, I don't know. Let me check my messages. Massages. No massages. I'm doing good over there. Fine. Where am I? Where am I up to? Yeah, I'm on the wrong page. Let me close that. It's better. Fine. Colin says, at Tzvi Lebetkin, I've always found it odd that we count the year as changing a week after the event from which we theoretically count it. Like getting a year older a week after you get your birthday. Well, I think that there's an antecedent to that in many things. In Judaism, for example, right? You have a two-part process for the rebooting of reality, which is the Jewish New Year. You have Rosh Hashanah, which is the first day of it, and it's like a 10-day process, right? So Rosh Hashanah goes for 2 days, and it's like a Sabbath. You're not allowed to use a phone or electricity. You have all the Sabbath rules. You're in synagogue a lot, and the food's very, very good, right? So and then you have Yom Kippur, which is a day where you don't eat for 25 hours, but it's a very, very holy day. And that's like the other half of it, right? So, but there is like this weird in-between thing, right? Also you got 12 nights, same, I guess, similar concept, maybe, I'm not sure. But there's always been this weird, in-between thing, right? They did something very clever with that in Doctor Who with the spin-off with the faction Paradox, who lived in the 11-day empire, which was these 11 days that go missing when they switch Gregorian calendars or something along like that. And so this 11 days in theoretical time is where the faction Paradox lives. And it's like a Time Lord voodoo cult from a different reality now. But they're very cool. I do like the faction Paradox. Yeah, they kind of like vanished. I think they did a little bit more with them, but they kind of vanished, right? DC is it? How you doing, DC? So Harry Potter then probably Colin Archer. Yeah. Yeah, no, please no Harry Potter reboot. Oh, they're so gonna reboot it. They're so rebooting it. So they're like, really? Like, oh, we'll just leave this $1 billion lying here then. We don't need to pick that up. Yeah, they're so rebooting that. Yes. They want to fight then. And I guess Harry Potter, they'll have a trans character in it. Like, they'll like, adopt that sort of thing. Who owns it? I guess J.K. Rowling owns it. Like what they really should be doing, like they could do so much with extended Harry Potter universe. There should be like an augury TV show. Like there should be like several Harry Potter TV shows, in the works, just like set in that universe, right? And there's a lot you could do in that universe, right? There's many different ways you could look at that universe, and that it's not being exploited is crazy, right? And have them all like apocryphal. You could have mini series, and then you can have a original fiction series as well. When we used to get the Virgin New Adventures, and we used to get a book a month and read them. So some people got 2 books a month and read them. It wasn't like a big deal, right? They could so be churning those out, right? And they could maintain the quality as well, again, you can just stay off the legacy characters, maybe, or I don't know. There's things you could do. There's a lot you could do in that universe, and that they're not doing anything is weird. And this David Zaslav guy isn't somebody who lets their assets sit around, right? He needs to make money. So I don't see it not being exploited, right? I don't see it possible. Yeah, I think that has to happen. But it's strange though, how Disney have just destroyed Star Wars though. During this, was holiday season, which should be like maximum was it volume, right? The Star Wars hotel is 3/4 empty, right? They can't fill it more than 25%. They're laying off staff, right? And so it's just not going to work, right? It's like the whole thing is falling apart. Yeah. It was a good idea, instantly corrupted and realized badly. Exactly. I mean, it said, oh God, everything is wrong about it, right? Everything is wrong. Okay, here's what you want to do if you do a Star Wars hotel, and you can even have the LARPing bullshit in it as well, right? This is what you do. You have it a hotel built around in the Star Destroyer, right? Where's it? Oh, okay, just being informed tonight. Right, you have the hotel is built out of a Star Destroyer, and so you get all that imperial architecture built in, but it's like a hotel. And the story behind it was a former Imperial Star Destroyer that's been now repurposed as a hotel, right? And so you can have all the characters working there in character as Star Warsy characters in the Star Wars universe, and you're just there on vacation. You don't need to even cosplay at this point. You're just there. You're part of the story right now, right? You can take part in the story, or you don't have to take part in the story. It's fine, right? But you're in that aesthetic, and you can have all the Star Warsy stuff, and you can also have it. You can have them on the ground, so you can have windows, and people can go outside. They'll be outdoors. Oh, it was such a bad. And then if you want to have this LARPing thing where you live action role play thing, where you can have a thing where you can go on an excursion to the Imperial the Emperor's personal satellite. And when you're there, that's when you have all the video screen things, and you can't see out into space. 1 second. I'm just going to say on my WhatsApp, but will you be fine? My wife. Oh, you help me. Okay, this is your job. This is an important thing here. I'm letting you know. This is your job as a husband, right? You have to work out what your wife wants and suggest it to them, right? That's your job. So last night, it's my father-in-law's what's called a Yorkshire, the anniversary of his passing this Friday, which pisses me off no end, which means I got to go to synagogue. Normally I play hooky, and I sit around in pajamas, right? And it's all nice and warm and cozy. I like this plan. I pray at home instead of going to synagogue. Well, I got to go to synagogue to say a communal prayer in his memory. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I'm going to synagogue. But then my wife also wants to do a thing marking the 15th year since his passing. So she's making so I'll stay in there saying, please don't say Kiddush. Please don't say Kiddush. Please don't say Kiddush. Please. She's a small Kiddush. I'm like, no. No, I mean, the upside is I do get to eat and I do enjoy them, right? Don't get me wrong. But she's busy enough as it is. And you know what? I like her attention on me. Me. That's what I like. Okay. What's the most important thing to me? Me. Anyway. So, we're not doing a huge one, right? We know like we used to like say, "Oh, there we go, welcome everybody." She's got it down to like 10 couples, like fine. And so and we're basically ordering in most things. Mostly, the thing I'm looking forward to most, I'm going to share it with you right now: the herring. Listen, us Hebrews, we know about smoked fish. Okay, we're talking. It's both salty, smoky, and fishy. It's everything we Jews love, right? That it's right there. So here we go. This is the what the herring platter will look like. And 1 second, move over there. I'll go this over here. So you see, very fine herring platter. Okay, I'm very excited about the herring platter. Firstly, you see you have several different kinds of marinated herring, but there's also several like dehydrated herring. I like the little chili peppers he puts on top, and the onions and the lemon. All goes together very, very well. Comes with a sleeve or two of crackers. Oh, these things are good. These things are good. So listen, it works out well for me for the food, right? Don't get me wrong. I like the food, right? And I can't remember. She made a bunch of other stuff as well because that's my wife. But like, could you just rest? For the love of God, like, stop doing everything. What can I tell you? I have no idea how we got onto that, but yeah, we have a kiddush coming up. So what are we up to? Darren, I think I said, I'll say hello anyway. Bernard Cribbins was mentioned a lot of times in the as a AZ Nick Abbott. I don't know what any of that means. On AZ, what's AZ Nick Abbott? I do not know. I'm confused. Philippo, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Carl Karamazov, how are you? Right time, playing place. Don't really know how that worked out. Well, there you go. It's sometimes the good Lord smiles upon us. You know, sometimes it's not shitty, right? That should be a T-shirt. Sometimes it's not shitty. What 2023? That's my hope. Sometimes it's not shitty. Daniel's Hot Topics is there. How are you doing? What does a Jewish caber have? Does a Jewish caber have the tip removed? But no, we don't remove it. We just cut it to make it look bigger, baby. Jonathan Cox is there. How you doing, Jonathan Cox? Thank you for joining us. Who else have we got here? There we go. Am I nearly caught up? No, I'm not nearly caught up with the chat. I was halfway through. Right. Imagine Kate Stewart as a master in a stolen body. I don't want to. Oh, I don't like Kate Stewart. I don't like her. Coming through the Jessica Rabbit Perry. But see, Perry's real though. You know, I can hang on to. You know, I like the human. Okay, I'm into the human thing. Right. Absolutely into the human thing. Tzvi Lebetkin, Wilma Flint. So what? Get real. She'll never leave Fred. Yeah, well, we will go with Betty. Yeah, the bed is. I forgot to check around 10 past. 1 second. Did I? That was when I showed my. Oh, there you go. Fine. People like the thumbnail. There we go. Fine. So there it's. We got. Yeah. So we have those things coming up. Let me get back to the eye candy. Doink, share screen. I mean, not many triumphs of 2022. I have to tell you, not many triumphs. I would say House of Dragon and Peacemaker, Westworld, and what's the name? Raised by Wolves, but they both got canned. So sadly. But I think that was excellent. Oh, one second, we got a sex bot. Maybe somebody already bought the block. Maybe somebody already did it. You know, if I try and do it and it's like it says no, can't do it, means somebody already got to it. What are we up to? Sorry, and hello to you. Hamashi was head of state much more than the world than anything. Well, I won't repeat it, but I do agree with it, baby. It is Rabbi Shemaiah thumb his channel catchphrase. It is my catchphrase, the channel catchphrase, right? It absolutely is that. What are we up to? And oh, look at that! I'm caught up with the chat. Caught up with the chat. Make not too right. No, no one should trust that saying. It's not reliable in any context. Never trust anybody over 30, baby. Never. Okay, more massages. What's this one now? It's all happening. 1 second. Okay, fine. Nothing I need worry about, right? Nothing I need worry about. So I think. Oh no, should we look at any news first? No, let's just get right into the continuing review of 2022, and it's amazing how much there is to review, right? So this is my one I'm doing on Saturday night, much more macro. This is much more micro, right? So, share screen. There we go. So we're up to July 1st. So you want to see January to July? That was on Tuesday's stream. I think I'm going to download this one. I'm going to clip them together, right, and put them. And we're going to try and get them uploaded by tomorrow, which is going to be tight. But if I can, I will. Right, but we're up to we're up to July 1st, and we had a bit of a winner. This was one of the standouts of Big Finish this year. One of the standouts for David Tennant as well. This one really worked. So the Master. Oh, God, that's better. So the Master was in this like ethereal realm of like super hyper dimensional. And the Derek Jacobi Master is awesome, right? He is so good. He's so the Master, right? He's distinct from Delgado, but definitely the same Time Lord, right? But it's got that authoritativeness and intelligence. I love his Master. So it's he's defending his life and he's doing it beautifully. So because he's basically on trial for being immoral. And he's like no, and he has this incredible defense. And at one point, he needs to call the Doctor as a witness, and the Doctor they bring forth as the 10th Doctor. And the interplay is very good. Really, that really worked very well. So this was a winner, right? This was a winner, and there weren't many in 2022. Right, most I think were pretty darn bland. But in July we came back from our haters, and I think we're waiting for the clocks to change to continue. Fans in Faith, I do love Fans in Faith. It's one of my favorite little streams with Father Miller. The crossover that had to happen. We look at Nerdum news from the theological minded. Yeah, that's essentially what it was. It's great. So I do hope Father Miller will be available again when the clocks change again. We can do Fridays. I think Sundays may be his busy day. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, I do love Fans in Faith. So I do. I wanted to add that thumbnail in as this was from also from July 1st. Look at that. It was a busy. It must have been a Friday. Then Saturday we had this one. The weird desperation where Yasmin Finify Shooter's gut was companion in the new Doctor Who. Okay. It only just started. Oh my God. This was the implosion, right? Starting, right? This was the implosion that led up to the complete running around with your head on fire insanity that we have right now. And it's again, man, do I have that thumb? Let me find that thumb. This one's for tomorrow. Right, this is where it started, and let me show you where it's going. Right, and this is really where it started. I want to go over here. So it's this one, but I have to go here. And where am I? Doink. It was. Yeah, this is it. This is tomorrow's video at 2 p.m. UK time. This article, this is really where it gets to, right? Where they're screaming is like, no, my ideology is real. It's real. No. They are having a theological meltdown. Their own failure is doing their head in, poor dears. And that, and honestly, it's 6 months. Look at this. 6 months of a meltdown. But this is where it really started to kick in. Oh, God. Oh, this desperation for bullshit that doesn't matter to matter. Like, for there to be oppression where there is none. It's pathetic. It is truly pathetic. This Theta Sigma, I think, is the YouTube channel. TARDIS in the background, freaking gorgeous. Oh my god, look at that! That is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, oh man, that is good. Right, yeah. Have you ever made the father bring up the shame? Yes, church lady, shame. Yes, I have been. I'm on my best behavior, and I do mess up often. And that's really, I'm on my super duper bestest behavior. I'm not even joking. Yes, that's so true. So yeah, there's also like, no, Yasmin Finney, it's because it's all about no, it's a very hot woman with a vagina. I mean, I think in my fan fiction, she certainly has a vagina. Okay, that's happening. But yeah, this is where it would just go on for, oh god. Mate, and I don't know if this is mental illness or not. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm willing to be wrong. I am willing to be wrong. I think it might be. Right? I think it might be. Right, like in my other review video, I talked a bit about the Umbrella Academy and how I skipped it because I just don't want to see Elliot Page. Who there is a BS rumor is in line to be cast as Superman by James Gunn. If that's the case, I am out. I am so super out. Right, leave me alone. That can't be. But that's why I was out of Umbrella Academy. I'm like, I think this might be your mental illness. I mean, at least you're not like physically butchering yourself. Like Elliot Page may have done. But like, whew, I don't know. But I'm sure you're a lovely person. I'm not denying your existence. Yeah, you're absolutely real, right? Absolutely. I'm just saying I don't know if your premises of your worldview are correct, right? And that's really it. In the same way, you don't know the premises of my worldview are correct, right? We disagree on things. It's fine, and yet we can coexist happily. Well, at least we should be able to, right? We used to be able to. So there you go. Anyway, you have so yeah, that was from the 2nd. We're only up to the 2nd of July. This thing takes a while. Also on the 2nd of July, we did a walkthrough on this awesome Worlds of Wonder exhibition. This looks fantastic, right? And this is all part of the reviving, regenerating brand of Doctor Who. Right, it's getting its mojo back, right? And it's okay if they put a Jodie prop in. The normies won't realize anyway, right? It's fine. Everything's for the normies. But this thing, I think it has just moved to Edinburgh. It was in Manchester or Liverpool, and I think it's moved to Edinburgh. And I might be wrong about all those locations, right? So I might be wrong about everything. So saying that almost always works out badly for me is this, right? Is the going into things with open minds, right? Because I'm always proved that it was pointless. Things are always were as bad or worse than you ever expect they're going to be, right? But I'm very glad I went into this one with an open mind because it completely changed my evaluation of the show, I'm doing a major rewatch of it, and I'm now of the opinion it's probably one of the all-time greatest television science fiction shows. Right, it's up there with what's it called again? Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, the reboot Battlestar Galactica. It is one of the all-time greatest sci-fi shows. More intelligent than you believe. It's all about what it is to be sentient and the birth of a new species and what that means for humanity, right? And told out in this wonderfully macabre, interesting story. There's just incredible world building with a top-notch cast. Now, everybody says season 2 was super duper woke, right? I just did a rewatch of season 2. It wasn't. I'm sorry. It wasn't. Every choice was organic for that character, right? They said they cut Teddy. I'm saying, no. That was the wonderful point about Teddy, right? Teddy, when you take these robots, okay, it's about these robots these super advanced robots that are in a theme park that lived on these loops of behavior, right? They had these stories, these rotating stories that would just keep doing over and over again. And the idea was humanity, yeah, we also live on our loops, right? We live on these like ever rotating routes. We get up, we go to work, we do this, yeah, we have routines. Right, the same thing. Now you're able to improvise these robots, and they're able to like come up with things like, you know, when you move them out of their loop, right? And it's about them becoming self-aware. So Teddy was a gunslinger, right? His basic job was to be murdered so his girlfriend could be raped, right? It was you know, Evan Rachel Wood, right? But he was like this like heart of gold gunslinger with a dark past. That was Teddy, right? So when he was given sentience and self-awareness and freedom, they're in the middle of fighting this this war with humanity. You know, yeah, there's many, and they wanted to alter him to get rid of his conscience so he could be a more effective warrior, right? And so they changed him, right? But then he ended up killing himself. He chose death, and that was his only option for self-actualization. And that's what this show was all about: the development of self-actualization and what that means. Again, what it means for having competing species in the same world. That's really what season 4 is about, right? And it's got Tandy Newton in it. And they keep saying that, like, oh, let's have a black female James Bond. No, never have a black female James Bond, right? Never do that, right? But if you want to have a black female spy, Tandy Newton is insanely good in this, right? One of my favorite characters of all time. I absolutely did, and she's built that character. Just outstanding work, really, absolutely outstanding. So it was this series that really made me go back and reevaluate it. And boy, is it so much better than you know, right? It is so much better than you know, right? Did you see the clip of Margaret Thatcher covering that horrible British Airways tailplane logo with a hanky? No, what was it? What I do with anything with Jodie with it in an exhibition? Yes, that's so Margaret Thatcher. I used to like Margaret Thatcher. I'm sorry, I think she was like fun, frankly. Yeah, look, I was a fan of the original Battlestar Galactica as well, but man, it's not the same. I like one is like a I think it was one of the most poignant meditations on 9/11, what 9/11 meant to a society, right? Dude, I was around when Thatcher was around. She was good. Yeah, it was really, it was a good time, mate. Margaret Thatcher, the milk snatcher. Yeah, I drink your milkshake. Anyway, yeah, the All Group. So, yeah, so this started. This was July 3rd. Man, this was the greatest discovery of the year for me. Yeah, by a long chalk. It was very good, very good. Meanwhile, fandom divided. The top 10 most polarizing moments of Doctor Who. The Orville goes full groomer. Yeah, it did, you sick fucks. Absolutely did. Frothing, ranting review. Yeah, I hated it. Thor Love and Thunder described as the gayest Marvel movie yet. Well, how'd that work out for you, stupid cunts? Did that work out well for you? Yeah, great. Marvelous. Yeah, exactly. No one's happy now, are they? Right now, you got some smug scriptwriter, and that's it. No one's happy. No one's happy. Hey, kids, give chemical castration a chance. You don't want to be a bigot, do you? Icky thump. All we ever want to do is scissor in the TARDIS. Yes. I do like that they have both body type and lingerie appropriate, character appropriate, right? I am impressed myself. Yeah, how sad. Man, the Orville completely lost it. Like, completely lost it. Anyway, by the 6th, this was going crazy. The mainstream fan media's inability to let go of the Phil Chibnall era. Don't look at them! Jodie is the best that will be remembered fondly. She really won't, you know. You know, I have that, I do that gag so often. And man, my Meet the Beep doesn't look as good as the real Meet the Beep. Blimey. Wow, I didn't expect that. Their Meet the Beep actually looks better than mine. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess they got some money put into it, right? Look, you know, again, this death cry, and that's what it is. When you see the year laid out on cards like this continuous death cry of the Jodie fan. It's not about the Jodie Whittaker stories. It's about the failure of their worldview, right? It's about the failure of worldview, and we're seeing now a little bit about their addiction to outrage, right? Being outraged about being called David Tennant the skinny man. Will you stop being such a pansy, right? As the best I can explain to you is just stop being such insane pansies. Oh my God, really? Like what do you think you're getting for being such a pansy, right? I don't know. But yeah. This was the headache of the year. Their death cry, right? The death knell. This was like the Gallifreyan version of nails on a chalkboard. And never ended. Thankfully, I found a respite in this. Beyond the War Games, freaking excellent. Oh my God. Absolutely excellent. I'll give this a re-listen any day. Good stories, well written, good script, good acting. Everything about this really totally super duper works, right? You got was it Michael Troughton? Yeah, Michael Troughton playing the second Doctor. So imagine that there's an alternate reality where the Patrick Troughton goes into color instead of going with a John Pertwee season. You go into a 1970s color Patrick Troughton season, and he wakes up and he's after being force regenerated, right? And he's on this weird planet. He can't work out where he is. He's in color, and it feels like he's in color. And it turns out he's on the remains of Skaro after the Dalek, not the War Games, the evil of the Daleks, right? So he's in the aftermath of it, and he's basically finding his way. He's become somewhat of a tool of this shadowy organization from Gallifrey, leading up to his appearance in the Two Doctors, with the second Doctor in the Two Doctors. I do hope they explain why Jamie was trying to hump Perry. I mean, other than who doesn't want to hump Perry, but you normally start with a bit of chat first before you like just jump down and grunt. Listen, I don't know. Maybe that's the Highland way. I don't know. They call it the Highland fling. Oh, up your bum. What? Really? No. That was just no officer. Meanwhile, other than Jim, instead of trying to model their Captain Kirk on William Shatner, they modeled him on Jim Carrey. Other than that, this was fucking awesome. Oh, it's awesome. Everything about this was fantastic, right? I hope they don't do this often, but it really super duper 100% worked. I'm Captain Kirk. I know I look a bit like a Jim Carrey impersonation of from In Living Color, but other than that, this is a great season finale and an unexpectedly awesome first season. Yes. Right, I mean, it really is. I like the everything about this show, the aesthetic. The only thing I don't like is Lieutenant Lesbian Latinx, or is it Lieutenant Latinx Lesbian? I think it's Lieutenant Lesbian Latinx, right? I don't like Lieutenant Lesbian Latinx, right? No, get rid of her. Other than that, A plus, right? I think it's really, really good. I like the story arcs. I'm bummed out they killed off the chief engineer because he was one of my favorite characters, and I'm worried they're replacing him with Carol Kane. Seems a bit weird. Like, really? Can we have blokes in it again, please? Can we get some more men, please? Thank you. But in general, this was a great season finale. Replaying and reimagining, was it Errand of Mercy? What was that classic episode? I think it was Errand of, I can't remember. Of Star Trek, where the essentially, if Pike was in charge of the Enterprise, there would have been endless war with the Romulans, right? So that's basically how this season ended up, and so they recreated it. And I mean, other than the guy playing Kirk, right? Why couldn't you get Vic Montagna in, right? Like, no, other than that, everything about this work, I just don't understand. I mean, I guess I do. They screwed up. Bottom line. They screwed up, bottom line. You know what? The problem is this. The problem is they are commoners, right? They're commoners. They don't have the gentry to advise them. These are but serfs of men, right? These are left to their own devices, they'll end up gnawing on their own feces. These are dung suckers. They need the gentry. They need the upper classes to guide them, and of course, the upper classes come. Their guidance come from a regent higher power. Imbuing His Majesty himself in form of royalty. So royalty is an important thing. Let me tell you, royalty. Don't get me wrong. I like the egalitarian world of Captain Kirk, but I do like a bit of royalty. We've had a bit of a rough year for royalty. We're still having a bit of a rough year for royalty. I haven't been able to finish The Crown this season. I'm still on episode 8, I think. I'm bored. I was like, really, just push it through. That's what I said. And they really should have done that with the marriage as well. Anyway, I digress. Royalty. Thankfully, ladies and gentlemen, in this strange in-between time where it's neither here nor there. It is not Christmas. It is not New Year's. It's not up. It's not down. It's not hungover. It's not hung before. It is that weird in-between. I bring forth royalty. From, the most humble of places. Birmingham. Birmingham, of course, as King of the Geeks. It's Dan Hadley.
Hello, mate.
Going around the houses and dunk. Here you go.
And we launch. We're here. We're going. We're up. We're here. A bit of blue blood. Back on another planet. Thanks for the invite. Are you okay? You have a good Christmas? Well, you know what I mean. Are you enjoying yourself? Where are we? You're doing your review of the year.
I am. But so on the Friday night around Christmas, we do a big Sabbath meal every week.
Yeah.
So we do a Christmas themed one, right?
I know you do. The missus was doing the various things that you like from mince pies and things, isn't it? She does.
Missus do my head in. Now she's making a whole other thing this week. I was like, really? Can you just take a week off from doing stuff, right? Like, look, if you want to fast around anybody, there's me, right? I like being fast over. You can fast around me. That's fine, darling. You know, you don't need to worry about the rest of the world. No. So she's making a little reception thing for Saturday morning. All right, what can you do?
And
Anyway,
geek culture's gone a bit mad over the last 7 days, isn't it? Considering that it's supposed to have been on holiday, so you're going back through 2022.
I watched your stream earlier today about all the rumors.
Yeah,
like, there's always rumors. It's like none of them sounded different, or none of them sound worth reporting on.
Well, they're the expansion, aren't they, of things that have been. I mean, I'm convinced that it comes from the fan base, and I think a lot of it probably is. I mean, the reason why I went with this lot is because there was simply so much of it, and I've never really talked about it before. I've always resisted covering it before, partly because of what you've said, because it just goes. We get it in March, then we get it in, say, June, July, and there's another sort of silly season where people get bored. It comes around again. But there's something about this. There's something about the timing of it.
Yeah, people get excited, that's all. And it's clearly coming from the fan press, going to the Nationals and backwards and forwards, feeding each other. Speaking of feeding each other, this is what we do for the Sabbath before Christmas. This was we can't take pictures of it on the Sabbath, because we don't use electronics. So you have these 2 loaves of bread normally to make. That's the first thing to do. So my wife made 1 loaf in the shape of the thing you light on Hanukkah, the candelabra thing. Normally they look more like that. Oh, that was very good.
That's nice. Yeah.
So that's the turkey. Turkey was good. We instead of having it with roast potatoes, that's for the day. That was Chinese. We made Chinese for the day because we did American Christmas for lunch. Latkes, they're potato pancakes. A Jewishy thing for Hanukkah, but my wife makes her own mince pies. Glorious, absolutely glorious.
Yeah. You've told me about these the last couple of years that I've known you. You keep talking about these mince pies. They do look beautiful.
Pies. That was a roast. That went like butter. That was insane. We had crazy amounts of donuts. These ended up getting cream put on them, and they were chocolate mint, I believe. That's the Chinese for the day. That's the roast. Oh yeah, here we go. That's us lighting our Hanukkah candelabra thingies for Hanukkah. But here, I think the most impressive thing was over here. We had a ton of people. Most impressive thing is I make Christmas crackers that you can use on Sabbath. That you're not allowed to pull them apart and go bang on Sabbath. Okay. So they don't go bang. You have to go bang yourself. So there you go. That was my.
It looks fabulous. I'm glad you had a good time. Yeah. Mine was. I've got some pictures of mine, but I suppose I ought to show people, hadn't I? But they're all my kids, my mother, and various other people all together. We had a good time. Yeah.
What's that? Rusty Davis shared a picture of his Christmas. Let's see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's strange.
He's very good
on
the whole Instagram thing, isn't he? He knows what he's doing with marketing in general. Like, who would have thought such an incredible writer would be such an incredible marketer, right?
Yeah, and he's pretty fearless as well about us knowing who he is. Knowing about his life within reason, about what matters to him, the fact that we matter to him. I genuinely believe that the fans matter to this man.
I think so too. I think that's why there was a trailer on Christmas. All right, I think there was no need for it at all, and I think that's why there was.
Good point.
There you go. Russell at Christmas.
He looks like the big. There are actual minors in that picture, but the biggest kid is absolutely the guy at the back with both arms in the air. I think it's safe to say.
But they're just having glorious fun, right? This is why I love Christmas, right? This is such a unifying thing. You just get together, have a fun meal, and it's fun. And it's not a Christian thing. It's not a Muslim thing. No. It's just an English thing. It's very nice.
I think so too. Yeah.
I don't think Russell went to mass. Okay, I don't think that happened. And not to take Christians away from Christmas, right? But I'm saying in England it's a bit more universal. Anyway, we're going through the year. So far, we're up to July 18th. Right.
Yeah,
July
how's it going so far? You're not flagging yet because it's been a rough year, mate. It's been a rough year.
Oh man, it's been a year of relentless. Well, yeah. Now I've got to pull up something else here. So this is what's coming up over the next couple of days. Yeah.
I just saw your pick there of Strange New Worlds, and a few days ago I saw that Strange New Worlds was due out on Blu-ray, and I felt a physical sort of jerk of excitement as I realised, I've got to pre-order that, and I haven't felt that feeling about Star Trek in a long, long time.
I'm thinking about the second season before I buy it. So yeah, this is where all those articles ended up. This complete ongoing meltdown. We're watching the slow death of toxic fandom. Anyway, my point was this: when you start doing an overview of the year, the macro, you start to really see what's going on. So what I'm doing on Saturday night, right? Saturday night, I think about 7. This is going out, so it's over an hour. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long, and this goes over all the SFX, Doctor Who magazine, and the SFX and Doctor Who magazine covers. For the first 6 months of the year. It took me
that's a great
forever.
Idea.
Yeah, but you do. It's like girl boss, fail, girl boss, forgotten, fail,
Groundhog
over
Day.
and over again. It really is. It really is. So the first half of this, but then I did the second half, and I knew I had to do it within a 15-minute increment, right? So then if I start a premiere at 11 o'clock. It gives it a 2-hour, a 2-minute intro. And then at exactly 1 minute to 11, you get a countdown. What do you get a countdown to? The second half of the show ends up with Countdown 2023, Rabbi from Another Planet, Balcony!
Yes!
Take the piss! As the sands of time run out for 2022. Farquhar 2022, never come back. I mean, I'm sure no one's going, this was the year. Oh, yeah.
It's been pretty bad.
It's not been good. Okay, the only good bits have been of original things, I think, were Peacemaker right at the beginning and House of the Dragon. There's been nothing else, right? Every film has been a dud.
It's just struck me out, Rabbi. I haven't been to the cinema once. I went to see the Batman. That was so bad that I haven't been back.
Exactly, and that's from last year.
And I'm not exaggerating. I really, that put me off sitting in a cinema for longer than an hour. But I agree. And with this show, obviously, Rabbi, you seem to have set yourself up there as the Jewish Clive James. I think you could have something going there. Where you used to see.
I think that's fair. Yeah, you got half the audience going, "Who's Clive James?" The other half going, "What's a Jew?"
Well, I'd have definitely been until I met you and started doing these streams with you. I'd have probably been in the latter. I'm so ignorant about faith. So even now, unreal. But are these live or have you pre-recorded them?
No, these are pre-recorded. Why? It's 2 in the morning for me in Israel.
That's what I thought. I thought, bloody hell, he's going the extra.
I'm like, yeah, no. That's what I mean. Oh, is it Dr. Alex is there? Here, I'll invite you in.
Alex is here. Oh, great.
I will send you a link. He's been very industrious of late. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's. I don't know where it's going to go. Robert Meyer Burnett is still doing the hard sell on Picard season 3 for next year, but obviously this year there's been. There's some Strange New Worlds that was on, and Prodigy is just wrapped up, which I still haven't seen.
I saw a few episodes, but I didn't care enough to go back.
So, and Yasmin, Yasmin, of course.
Yasmin, yes. This is back in the dim mist of July 18th, right? How to learn every wrong lesson possible from the Fedor Chibnall Whittaker's Doctor Who. Yeah, just these articles that are completely devoid of all reality. It's so bizarre. Over and over. No, Daddy didn't tell you. She did. No, I mean, like the more obvious it gets, the intensity gets stronger. The more obvious that she failed. Right, as soon as David Tennant shows up, it goes right. It's insane. This goes on, and this is all year. Right.
Well, they dropped an article. Somebody dropped an article a few days ago, and it was over Christmas. And I thought of you as soon as I saw it. And it must have been Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, because I haven't really thought about it much since. And it was a claim that the Jodie Whittaker era and that her incarnation of the Doctor was the best ever.
A video on that.
Oh, I haven't caught that yet. I haven't
that
caught
was
much.
literally made for me. You know, I appreciate somebody going to the trouble for that. Where is that? No.
I haven't seen much of any YouTube at all this week, so I don't know what everybody's been talking about.
That was. Do I have the thumbnail for that? Let me try and find
that expression on Jodie's face. And you haven't photoshopped that either, have you? That's
no.
genuinely her face.
No. That's real. Right? Exactly. One second. Let me try and find that thumbnail. We'll be over here. Oh, so many folders. There we go. Doink.
I saw one that you put up the other day of Shooter Gatwa in a pair of what were they? Christmassy underpants.
Oh, I do that a lot. Yes, I do that a lot. You know, look, the boy likes to show off his abs. God bless him. Oh, here it is. Here, 1 second. How do we get to this now? There we go. Doink. Yeah, this was the thumbnail when I went over that article.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched this one. I will watch this. I will certainly give this one a play. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my one tomorrow is slightly more off the hinge. I was like, really? So was it? So yeah. So then we started getting reports in July 22nd about how embarrassed the BBC was with the centenary Power of the Doctor, which I think they probably were, but I think they generally had no reason to be, right? Other than Jodie Whittaker, right? I mean, like. I think it was one of the least embarrassing things they've done under the banner of Doctor Who since
I would agree, but by that point, as an intellectual property, as a brand, as an event, the series itself, it was pretty much inconsequential what aired within that 90 minutes because it was never going to. The circus around it had an artificial, and there wasn't a great deal. Don't get me wrong; there were no billboard posters and things like that.
Right.
It just felt like they were going through the motions. Oh well, I suppose we better put a trailer out. I suppose we better give them an interview.
Right.
I'll stick them on. They'll talk to Joe Wiley on radio, whatever it is she's on now.
Right. Exactly.
It felt like just tying a bow on it. In fact, not even that. It felt like people who were discharging them.
It felt like they just left it with the lid off.
Yeah, and people just discharge. You know, when you're changing jobs and you leave one place and you make sure that your desk is sort of in order and you hand back your stapler or whatever else.
Right.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. It was just useless. Thump. But that was our bestest ever. Our bestest, right? It was right. Stand back. Darling, let the professionals work. A return to Bannerman Road. How marvelous. I think this is probably going to be a good idea for Big Finish, right?
Yeah.
Although, what was I thinking about Big Finish earlier? I can't remember.
I think that certainly putting Anjali Mahindra at the centre of a new range is a really good idea. I think that they need. I know this might seem to be a rather silly complaint, but I think with a lot of their box sets, that the titles of them are so contrived. They call that The Further Adventures of Rani After Bannerman Road. It's got this really long title, whereas I think they could honestly have gone with the Rani Adventures or something, short and
the
snappy.
Rani Adventures would be perfect. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. I don't know. It seems to me that they don't do their box sets collections closely enough. Right, they're always like the. I think I'm out in the Ninth Doctor once. Like, unless they give me a reason to go back now, which they're not. I think I'm out of that next year. There's like they did the one with
every release. They seem every release seems less essential than the one that's gone before, and that's not a good thing.
Exactly. You know, the resting Jodie faces, Dr. Alex. It's just didn't work. But I mean, I don't know. Like next year, is it go? I still don't know if they're going to make it. Right? Honestly, I don't know if anyone's going to make it. They keep talking about like a financial implosion like they haven't seen before.
Well, it looked like Eagle Moss was doing very well, and they went bump overnight. They'd got a product range that was just as large as Big Finishes, and it was considerably more international. I'd say that Big Finish.
Eagle Moss was a much bigger turnover.
Yeah.
Much more expensive.
It's right. There's somebody there's somebody in the live chat who says, "Yeah, guys, stop being perverts." Is that us or them?
I don't know. Listen, mate, this is as least perverted as I get. Right? I'm reasonably perverted. I don't know what to tell you. It's part of my brand.
Yes, we haven't mentioned boobies. We haven't mentioned boobies at all.
At all. I mean, I did show you my thumbnail for New Year's Eve, so. Which was quite moving. Anyway, yeah. So this is when we first started getting word of how much they hated it, which I think, yeah, they did. It's quite a little bit sad because it was some of the best things they did. Yeah, Eagle Moss has gone bust, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde. Then this was before they debuted the diamond logo, so I think I'm doing pretty good here. I'm the first person that connected Russell probably saw that and said, "Oh, how marvelous!" Right? Yeah. So
it's the blonde hair, because obviously that was the hair he had when he was announced, wasn't it? The blonde hair as well just caps it off.
Right. I kind of like the blonde hair. Yeah, but I'm sad he's not keeping it. Yeah, so this is when he was recording the Barbie movie. He's going to have a big year this year. That's probably going to be one of the most successful movies of the year, the Barbie movie.
It's got Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling in it, aren't they?
Right, but it looks like it's fun.
It does look fun.
It looks like it's fun, right? So the rumor was that he's going to appear in the 6th anniversary. I believe that rumor. Wearing only his knickers. I don't believe that rumor now. Then we went over.
I must have missed that one. Who's going to appear in a set of pants?
I've become such a master in turning white flesh tone into black flesh tone, right? On Photoshop. There's a whole thing you've got to do it. It's really weird. But like
it's what they call expanding the skill set, mate.
It really is. But I've done so much that I do now. I feel so bad. But I'll get over it. So it was July worked out to be a bit of a rough month, mate.
Poor David, yeah.
Right. It certainly doesn't result in me turning into a black woman. So it's good night from me. What's this about? The changing phase of First Doctor leaves media confused. Westworld, man, I so recommend taking your time over that, right? Those 4 seasons. It is so. I was just talking about it just before you came on. It is so brilliant. It's like I can't express how brilliant it is, right? It's cool, like on a surface level with like just robots and westerns and robots, and then then the storytelling is very clever, but that hides the underlying story, which is the most brilliant thing ever, which is the development of what independent thought and sentience is, and that through like the decision making. It's really interesting. It's one of the best pieces of science fiction I think ever made for TV. Ever made. It's so, but it takes a lot of effort, right? So you got to really
perseverance, commitment,
right? But if you do, you've seen the light. It's crazy how
for me 2022 was the year that I tried yet again with the series that everybody loves that's on Amazon. It's made such an impression on me that I've forgotten the name again.
The Boys?
No, the other one, the sci-fi one with Thomas Jane in it. Ensemble thing. There's lot of cast.
I remember. Yeah, The Expanse. Well, that went sideways. So who cares?
I've been told how brilliant it is, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried. I may try again.
Honestly, now it went completely sideways. I would say it's not worth.
Okay.
right? It's don't bother getting invested. It's no better than say a Babylon 5, quite frankly, right? It's about that level of storytelling.
I'm better off going to watch
Babylon 5 a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's
but it was made. It did finish 25 years ago. So you'd say if it was a choice between revisiting and giving the Expanse another try, and giving the Westworld another try, you'd go.
Oh, not even close. I mean, like Westworld is a towering brilliance. I mean, it just is. It's like I can't even express how clever it is. The Expanse just isn't that. I'm sorry. So yeah, listen, end of July was a rough month, right? We lost David Warner. Apparently, he was living with Lisa Bauman. Found out when that happened.
Yeah, they've been together for quite a long time. I understand, like 15, 20 years, something like that. A long time.
So did they meet through Big Finish?
I believe they did. I think that she directed him in something. They did meet through Big Finish, I believe. But yeah, it's a lovely story. I mean, obviously she put up a tribute to him on Twitter as well. You know, it's must have been
I saw that.
ever so touching. Yeah, I've never met Lisa Bauman. I've never spoken to her or anything, but she just seems like the loveliest woman.
It's weird though. She's left such a shadow of my entire life now. Like, you know, I'm like older now, like, but she first came into my life. What was it in '88 with Survival, right?
Yeah.
And then during the Wilderness years, she became very identifiable with Bernie Summerfield, which I knew when I first it was an audition piece for them to get the Doctor Who license. So I immediately started. I was big into the New Adventures anyway, so I immediately subscribed to the cassette range. This is when I was living in Miami, right? It's but yeah, and then she's like become a director there, and so just like it's so weird. It's been decades upon decades of me following their career. It really has, isn't it? Yeah. Of like really taking an interest in this person who I've never spoken to ever, right? And whenever I see her, I'm always like, see her in something. I'm always happy that she's in something. So, and I also know she gives a good performance, and she's a very, very good director. Sorry.
Well, I would imagine that she has, like everybody, she has good days and bad days, but she always seems to be smiling. She's always very upbeat about whatever she's doing.
I get the feeling she knows how to do that. It's part of her job, quite frankly. Yeah. But she always has a good attitude, right? I've never heard any like negativity from her. Yeah, which is good because you don't want to hear that from your celebrities.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. The sort of the impression that she gives generally, not literally smiling, but that everything that she gives off on social media, she never joins in on any nonsense. I mean, the things that I noticed Georgia Tennant, Georgia Tennant, who I've got a certain amount of time for. I think she looks like a great mom and a fantastic partner, but she also seems like the most insufferable lefty imaginable. She's wearing a t-shirt. Oh my God, that woman! And I know that people love her.
This is what I've realized that happened in 2022, right? That we have different systems of alarm within Western civilization when things are wrong. We have different like alarm bells that ring, but all those security systems have been circumvented and cut. Right? We don't have a free independent media that monitors the things anymore. Right? We don't have that. No. We don't have politicians that are accountable to the electorate anymore, right?
Definitely not.
No, absolutely we don't, right? We got like two sets of morons that know who cares which one.
We've got a prime minister now in Great Britain that doesn't actually represent anybody.
No, exactly. But that's the thing. Normally, there will be massive alarm sirens going off about everything that's going on in society, but there isn't. Right, so that's why I think the vast majority of society is still asleep and thinks everything's normal, because the media's acting like everything's normal, even though everything's on fire.
The BBC, the BBC have not given so much as a second's screen time to covering the Twitter files, which in my view is a huge story, probably approaching Watergate in significance.
But far bigger. It turns out that social media was funded by, set up by Black Ops money, so they could infiltrate it completely. And this sounds like I wouldn't normally say this because it sounds like a conspiracy theory. Now it's not a theory anymore. This actually happened, right? And it's used as a system of surveilling and controlling the populace. Surveilling, controlling, and suppressing for the populace, especially this here, like specifically at the behest of government, right? The government is specifically getting you to silence people's speech, right? This is completely, but it's too late. Like it's always been this way, right? We didn't. I mean, mate, I think it's pretty much. They're just. I don't know what there is to do about it now.
No, I don't either.
Well,
I think if we're going to hand wave a story like that of this significance, lasting significance, something that has influenced an event as crucial as a democratic election on the most powerful country in the world, then anything's possible. All bets are off, and they just want us to remain sleeping, keep looking at our phones, presumably consuming their content, paying their license fee, and doing as we're told. The world is changing in a way that we know that it's wrong. I think just like you said, I think our senses are telling us that something is wrong. We are lurching from disaster to disaster to disaster almost weekly now. At one time, we just seem to be facing a disaster every winter. Then it was like twice a year. Now it's monthly to the point where we're in a state of permanent alarm in Great Britain. I spoke to somebody the other day who was visiting the country. They're an expatriate. They'd come back to the UK to spend time with family over Christmas, and they said that they couldn't believe the change in atmosphere amongst the people. Everybody in England just looks and sounds defeated, beaten. Because I mean, there's no escape. I mean, there is no escape. There's no populist. That took a bleak turn, mate. Sorry. one minute it's boobs, next it's.
These things normally sort themselves out somehow, right? And I've always said 2023 is when the wheels come off the wagon, right? This is the year when the world changes.
Well, the cycle is moving faster. The cycle is moving faster than ever. If you look at a show like Willow, that failed pretty quickly. The Witcher failed instantly.
When you go through the thing, you'll see how many things come and gone that you forgot.
Okay.
That failed completely. So many of it.
You saw how hyped I was for Willow when we looked at that trailer, and I haven't watched it.
I know. Not good. Anyway, so then 2022 just got worse. 3 days later, on the 29th of July, Bernard Cribbins passed away. The outpouring of love for this guy was so genuine, right? Rusty Davis' obituary was wonderful. Everybody's obituary was wonderful. It was like I said this about the Queen as well. I think most people felt they had like some kind of personal connection.
Yes.
I think we both have.
A family connection, certainly in the case of Bernard's. He felt like everybody's uncle, everybody's granddad.
Yeah, absolutely. But he'd been with you all your life, right? Yeah, it was. First, he was in the original Dalek movies, then the Wombles. Then he's just always been around. Jack Honori, Bernard Cribbins has always been just awesome. Right, never changing, always being, always just getting more awesome. And then when he came to Doctor Who, it was just perfect, right? And then when he became like this central character in Doctor Who, also even better. There's nobody else that
mate. It was like he'd come home, and that cameo of his in Voyage of the Damned, it just felt so right. And we had no idea that he was going to be back for more after that. It's like he's back where he belongs. He'd never been in the show before, and yet it felt like he was back where he belongs. It's the strangest thing. And I think it's a quality that Bernard had innately in himself, that a few months after his passing, and I've certainly watched a few things in the last few months, since this time, that I'd forgot Bernard was in, and it's always, oh, great, Bernard Cribbins is in this, and it's just wonderful feeling.
Yeah. So there you go, Bernard Cribbins out. That was, I think, one of the biggest losses of the year. We also had more rumors that were totally wrong. Okay, I like looking at rumors that were wrong. They always make me laugh, right? So we had fugitive doctor to regenerate into Hartnell. No, played by David Bradley and Joseph Fernando. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. Thank God. More
this one came.
Doctor returning. That was true.
The rumor about the First Doctor changing, the fugitive changing into the First Doctor came from the great Lord Doomcock. And as much as I like,
it did it? Ah,
yeah.
Gotta love a bit of Doomcock, baby. Gotta love a bit of Doomcock.
I do love Doomcock, but he needs to get new sources for his Doctor Who stuff. He doesn't know a thing about Doctor Who or the BBC. He needs to get himself some new sources there. But we do love Doomcock.
We do love Doomcock. Anyway, now we're in deep into the summer, right? Deep into August 5th.
Bloody hell! How did you get away with this?
Photoshop, baby. Photoshop.
Well, I'm not just talking about Photoshop. Well, the whole thing. I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris. Oh,
I bet Ross.
I mean,
why is everyone saying my doctor is gay? I know, it's weird.
I mean, looking at it, trying to regain composure a little. It's a funny world we live in, isn't it? Where we feel, and even I feel it sometimes, particularly when people sign up for this show that means it's meant so much to the likes of you and I for all these decades. We feel sort of entitled to know that little bit more about them, at their personal lives and all that kind of thing, where they're from. And in this day and age, and at one time, that's kind of where it used to stop in Britain. We'd like to know where people were from,
right,
and maybe what their mum and dad did for a living, and whether they were into trains or collected stamps or like disco music or whatever. Now in 2022, people feel as an extension of that.
You have to find if they're a power
yeah. I only found out what that meant 2 days ago.
Oh, really? It's like 2022. You have to say, do you like anal fisting?
But the truth, the truth of the matter is, we have no right to know anything about Shooty Gatwa's sexual orientation.
No.
Any more than we do about.
That's not what this video was about. This video was more of the melting down shill media, desperate for validation, toxic fandom, desperate for validation.
Oh, I see.
Saying that the Shooter's doctor's going to be gay.
Oh,
right?
the doctor himself.
It was just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And it's just so this. Yeah,
but it's the same thing in principle, though, isn't it? Because people demand a clarification of these things, like practically from day one, even before the guy, has finished writing the thing. It's mad, and this is people on both sides of the aisle. It's not just them. It's some people on our side of the aisle as well.
Yeah. Listen, my overwhelming guess is this: that Russell Davis is his main goal, one of his main goals, is to make a hub to train new writing talent. I think he's seen how bad the culture is, and how these kids have ideas that he agrees with, and they're killing them, right? They're killing all his ideals in the public sphere by ham-fistingly writing for them,
because they can't write.
He wants to try and break. Right, I think he wants to train them how to write, and that's fine by me. I don't mind somebody having a different worldview writing site and expressing themselves, right? That's legitimate. But learn how to write.
What was the name of that writer who wrote the Impossible Planet back in series 2? Matt something or other.
Oh, I know. That was a good one. Matt, who was that?
Now that writer, as I understand it, Russell had sort of taken that writer under his wing and worked with him I mean, I think he worked with them all really extensively, but particularly with him on that, because he
Matt
wanted
Jones.
Matt Jones. That's it. He wanted to help him to move on with his career, and I think it's partly because he believed in him. I don't think Russell would help anybody who he didn't think had talent, but I think it's partly as well because of all the articles that writer used to write for Doctor Who magazine. If you remember, he was the one who sort of he came out in Doctor Who magazine in that one column.
Right. No, I do remember Matt Jones. He also did one of the Virgin New Avengers. But I think that's also true of, what's his name? Tom McRae, who did Ages Still, right? And Rise of the Cybermen in the same season. So it's a very Rusty Davis thing to do. I think he wants to make like an incubator for new talent. Right. And if he has to have a bunch of, very hot shirtless people around him, I think that's just what he has to go for.
Stephen Moffat didn't seem as into that as Russell did. There were certain writers you could see he formed relationships with writers, and there was some that he would bring back over and over again, but they seemed to disappear as quickly as they arrived. Thought it was a shame. People like Jamie Matheson.
The interesting thing is this about Russell is that for all his expressed disdain for Judeo-Christian morality, or biblical morality, I would say, he is probably one of the most biblically moral people in the entertainment industry. I think he's probably one of the most moral people in the entertainment industry if you take morality from a Judeo-Christian perspective, right? I think he's one of the most. I think he's a very, very deeply moral person. In fact, that family is very, very important to him, and family is the center of Judeo-Christian morality. So I think that's where it all comes from.
Well, right? I think that picture that you put up earlier on from his Christmas, I think that illustrates your point perfectly.
Well, also all his work, which shows he knows about family. Okay, one of the highest spots of the summer was the Doctor and the Daleks 4K in-depth review and Loving Piss Take. We love this. I did this with slides. This was a great little review. Oh man, these look good. Yeah, man, the Thals look gay in this. Did you get these?
You know what? I didn't in the end. I will be buying them. I could never decide which edition to buy, so in the end, I bought something else. But I will get them. Okay, they're still available.
This is what I did, right? I illegally downloaded them on 4K, and then I was like, fine, I'm just going to buy them on download. Still not available on download. I thought they'll be available that day. I went to buy them. No. Just let me buy them and I'll pay for them.
I remember you telling me at the time. If there's a choice between this sort of really this massive box set, which I think was £50 for each film.
It was crazy, which you're never going to look at any of the things in ever again.
Exactly.
And it looks kind of cool, but you're going to forget about it. Right. We've been down there.
It would gather dust on my shelf for years.
Yes.
But so I decided I was going to go for the Steelbook, but I don't like the artwork on the Steelbook as much as I do these. I hear there's a re-release coming in standard packaging. So with this cover,
download works for me. Just give me download. Have it on iTunes, and I'll pay you right now, mate. Okay. I actually feel really bad that I haven't bought it, right? Because I just assumed I'd be able to buy it. I felt like a real schmuck about it. So I'm sorry, I've stolen it. I'm waiting to pay for you, okay? But I really am sorry. Like if I go to hell for this, I'm like, really? This sucks ass. So anyway, that was one of the high spots. And one of the Science So 2022, Science So 22 came out on August 8th. Sad man. So 2022. So nearly fantastic. So modern day insanity. This is one where Neil Gaiman swore blind a big black woman was a white woman. Just swore she was a white woman. Right? No, 100%. That is a white woman. Like, no, it's not. She's a black woman. No, she's 100% a white woman. No, she's black. Well, I don't see the difference. Yes, you do, because that's why you picked her. Weirdo. Yeah. Weirdos. That's what it's other than that.
Gaslighting on a grand scale.
Yes. So yeah, speaking of gaslighting, I don't know why. But and next guess, I kind of feel like comes from an Elseworlds, right? I think maybe he deals with Elseworlds, but it feels like he comes from like the Gotham and Gaslight world, because you said gaslighting. So maybe he does, because I've never met him. Maybe he's on a trans-temporal communication device from his reality, and you go outside the door, it's really a Gotham by Gaslight reality. Who knows or dares to dream? But let us ask our next guest, Dr. Alex. How are you, sir?
What a brilliant intro. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, I can hear
you. Yeah.
From all the way in your other dimension.
In my other dimension?
Yes. So did you see The Sandman on Netflix?
You know I'm the worst guest ever. You know, I don't have the time to watch anything. I haven't even watched all of Raised by Wolves that you've sent to me, and that's not even all of it.
Oh, that's good. Well, don't, because they cancelled it. Actually, I am hoping that Raised by Wolves. I mean, this is not going to happen, but I am hoping that after they're released from HBO Max, they get picked up by someone. Like, can I just tell you what's Netflix? Stop giving Meghan fucking Markle 88 million. Give it to any of those two. Give it to Raised by Wolves, or for like, really 88 million to Meghan fucking Markle. Oh, God.
Terrible.
Again, it makes me glad that I don't have a television, because I don't get half of this, like the general morass of crap that most people get in their lives every day.
I think they keep suggesting to me, I'm like, I wouldn't watch that. I wouldn't press play on that if Meghan Markle would walk in and give me a blowjob. Right? That's how much I am not in it. And that would be fair reimbursement for paying 88 million for her to do that. I mean, other than that, this piece of shit that they made. Leave me alone. Stop suggesting it, Netflix. Okay? Stop doing that, and stop being pedo weirdos. Okay? Those are the two things you got to do. Having said that, Sandman wasn't bad.
By the way, I do like, unlike both of you, I do like The Expanse, but I'm also a season at least behind with that as well, because I just don't have the time. I'm too busy doing stuff.
Don't bother. The last two seasons of that sucked ass. Don't bother. Run away. Oh, you know what's not that didn't jump the shark, but was always stupid right from the beginning. Snowpiercer. That should be coming back soon. I do enjoy Snowpiercer. It's really dumb, but I really love it. They say that about me, you know. Anyway, moving on. By August 13th, we had to ask ourselves, does Screen Rant hate Doctor Who? They rejoice over the lost episodes and then catalogue why the current era has totally failed. This was a bit of a weird one. Let's just say the shill media has been in a bit of an emotionally strange place over the last year, right? They don't really know what's going on. They don't know what's up. They don't know what's downpour is. They have they're confused. They are confused. That I think that's the way to describe it. They are very, very confused. So
I do love
that's
that.
essentially where they are.
I love
But Dr. White now. I'm glad his episodes were junked. Also, you're shit too, Jodie. I don't know where I am. That is where they are now.
More than just your amazing words on it. I love the way you compose that thumbnail. I mean, just Patrick Troughton's face in the background overshadows Jodie, literally, but also it just perfectly illustrates their respective positions in Doctor Who, except Jodie shouldn't be in it at all. But this giant, expressive face of Patrick Troughton, and then this stupid gurning twat in the front.
Right. I mean, like one person was able to exude character just in a snap, and the other one wasn't able to do it in 30 episodes of turgid nightmare. Anyway, by August 15th, we found out that Strange New World, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, more popular than all the other Kurtzman Trek combined, baffling Paramount. Right? They're like, but how? We don't understand. Fascinating. It appears that when you don't make unwatchable garbage, people want to watch it more. Yes, it is weird, and Hollywood still going to understand it. Like, oh, God. You know, listen, okay, all you Hollywood fucks out there, listen to me, okay? I'm going to help you out. You're all too rich. Here's what's going to happen. For 10 grand, which for you is chump change, I will give you a service for a whole month for 10 grand, right? I will tell you if you're being a schmuck or not. Okay, I will
Okay.
tell you. No, don't say sorry for Black Lives Matter. Don't do that. Don't apologize for your privilege. Okay, I will save you so much. No, don't sing Imagine. It's not going to work. Don't do that.
I hated that song from the
There's
get-go.
nothing for you. God, I could really help you out, Holly. And yeah, Hollywood. Did you ever see the South Park where Cartman has to pretend to be a robot called I think Orgasmo?
No.
Wasn't that from Barbarella?
And he's taken to Hollywood, and they wanted to come up with ideas. He's like, Adam Sandler owns a burger restaurant. Like, that's brilliant. Yes, we'll do that. And then, of course, they try and have sex with Orgasmo because it's Hollywood, man. And boy, all I'm saying is, if you're a child that likes to be molested, Hollywood is the city for you, right? I just like everybody should go where they want to go. But if you're one of those people, you should definitely go there, right? It used to be Sodom and Gomorrah, now it's Hollywood. What if Sodom and Gomorrah put out good plays, right? If you were like you're riding around in biblical Israel, right? And you come across Sodom and Gomorrah and said, oh man, they got the new Tales of Golgolith on. Oh, I want to go see it, but they're so morally unsound. I don't know what to do. I don't know if that happened. Anyway, Dr. Alex, have you seen Strange New Worlds?
No, I think I've seen a clip. That's about it. Wasn't
There you go.
Spock,
What are you normally doing with your time?
Apart from writing and working for like money and stuff.
Yeah, working for money, that sucks ass.
Yeah, exactly. Working for money.
We're not a fan. We're not a fan. I'm much more interested in your bicycling exploits.
Bicycling?
Yeah, you're always fixing a bicycle.
Well, to be fair, yeah. I mean, I my bicycle does occasionally repair, but I've actually got a motorbike now. That's the new thing.
Oh no,
Nope.
Whenever I see your Facebook feed, it's always saying about bicycling.
Yeah,
I was like, really? Okay.
Upgrade my bike, yes. But now I have one with the
Yes.
engine on it, which is incredibly dangerous.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not
That
dead
sounds
yet.
fine. That sounds fine. But you're
Good news.
home alone now. So it's just you and the cats, isn't it?
Me and the cats. One of the cats is hello, fatty. Oh, one of the cats was sitting next to me thinking
That's a
I've got
big
away
cat.
from it all. See, this one is huge.
There you go.
And he's a good boy though. He is a good boy. You can go back over there now.
When you get your life back together again?
When do I get my life?
Once everything go back to normal after the holidays?
Oh, when I go back to normal work. I think the 4th or the 3rd of January, I'm back in normal work again.
I think it's on the 6th. James Gunn is telling us his plans for the DC extended universe.
Oh,
and I am holding off a comment till I hear what he wants to do. There was a rumor that he wants to cast Elliot Page as Superman. I don't think that's true.
absolute nonsense. That's another one. Oh no,
I don't think that's true. That's why I didn't watch.
What gender is Elliot Page at the moment?
Academy season 3.
What
Sorry?
gender is
Elliot Page? What gender? He's a male, and he's always been a male. Don't argue. That's just the way it's been, mate. That's just the way it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, August 16th, and we're looking at what was going on. The first rumors broke about McCann and McCoy back on the screens in 2023. We're a year late, 2022. Tennant and Tate hits BBC 4 Extra global streaming. Oh, that was a Big Finish story. Westworld, a finale bleaker than Blake Servers. Yes. With the complete destruction of all life. Yes, I think so. Where we're all murdering each other. Brilliant. Right? Absolutely brilliant.
Just for us who don't watch Chimblehall, in the case that was it, when were McGann and McCoy back on the screen again?
They were on for in a few different ways. Firstly, McGann and McCoy were in the scene when Jodie had been forced to regenerate into the Master, and the Jodie persona was walking around in the mental landscape of the Doctor. and came across the Guardians of the Change, which is where they go when they stop being the Doctor. And they had the Guardians started off as David Bradley's first Doctor, then turned into Colin Baker, then turned into Sylvester McCoy, then turned into Paul McGann, and then turned back into David Bradley, I think. It just, basically did that. All wearing these Gallifreyan robes, apart from Paul McGann, who wore his Night of the Doctor costume. Right. But also, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor makes a hologram AI interface to a computer or something. Maybe the TARDIS, I can't remember. But it goes to help Ace and it goes to help Tegan. And so to interface with them, it turns into an older version of the Fifth Doctor. And Tegan gets to say she's pissed off with him and she loves him. Okay. It doesn't really make sense. And then but it's quite nice. And the same thing happens with Ace and the Seventh Doctor. And that was a really good scene, right? That was excellent. I think that was a real closure. It was like, Ace, I always wanted the best for you. You know, it's bit to say, and I really love that scene, right? So that was nice to see. Okay. But like basically anything without Jodie in wasn't bad, right? It wasn't really Doctor Who. It's like Doctor Who in the same way you saw a Dalek in a dodgy fairground ride, right? That didn't really look like a Dalek. The same sort of thing, right?
Yeah. I would say that one good scene doth not an episode make, and I don't feel that somehow my life is lacking having my absolute
your life is superior.
Timbal Who in my life whatsoever, and I think I'm going to keep it that way.
Yeah, it's shocking. All of it.
Your life is superior for that. Anyway, I was so amazed with Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. I broke out a new font for a retrospective of season 1. That good, right? That good. Freaking awesome. I don't have high hopes for season 2, but I don't have high hopes for season 1. So hopefully I'll be impressed again.
My feelings about it exactly as I understand it. It's largely, I think it's completely the same staff that are working on season 2 of Strange New World. So and they went straight into making it. In fact, I think they were working on it before season 1 aired. So they won't be responding to any stupidity.
There'll be continuity.
Well, that's good news. Well, apart from their own internal stupidity, which I'm sure there's quite a lot, right?
Could kick in at any moment.
Oh my nose.
Tequila.
I thought you farted.
My special nasal.
No, okay. Here's a funny thing, right? In synagogue, if you farted, the thing to do was cough, so it covered it over until COVID. Now, if you cough, you've got a fart to cover it over because people look at you. It's looking at you badly. Anyway, so they made a comeback and it was actually pretty darn good. On the 18th of August, I did a review of The Legend of Luther Arkwright. This is the third volume in Luther Arkwright. The first one was done in the late 70s, early 80s. The second one in the 2000s, and so there's been 20-year gaps. Fascinating series, really strong recommend. It's interesting that it's taken this artist his entire life, right? And you see it's like he keeps digging back into. He's clearly older in this one, the art, and the art is suffering. But this is kind of like a really interesting, I would say, last hurrah. Beautiful production values. Can you give me the other 2 volumes that match this, and I will buy them tomorrow. This is fantastic. So if you read Luther Arkwright, this was a recommend. If not, start at the beginning would be my recommendation.
Brian Talbot's name I recognise.
Yeah. In fact, this year there is an audio adaptation of it starring David Tennant, and there's a sequel of that coming out this year called the Heart of the Empire.
So, I saw they got him back, and it's
that reminds me.
That's
more important than this.
Quite looking forward to.
More important even than this.
I'm sorry,
but even more important than this. You've reminded me of something. How far along has Crown of the Empire got?
Oh God, I've got halfway through that. I did too busy doing other. Your thing bounced it down, right? I've still got 2 things to do for you.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Right, I'm halfway through a story. And yeah, no, I'd love to do that, but I've had to do like real grown-up work so I can eat. You know, the normal stuff. What can I say? What can I tell you? Yeah, the not fun stuff. Anyway, that was Adventure Loser Arc, right? It's sublime. I love this. And we were talking about this today. Rumors about what's coming up. Get ready for the Sablon Glips Adventures, starring Andy Serkis. Yeah, I could hardly add and believe it myself.
He'd be great in that role, though, wouldn't he? Yeah,
he would be. I mean, like a Space Arthur Daily. I think that will go down very well, right? I would say a high point of the year, but this was pretty darn good. Something that ended stronger than it started. Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul really ended in a good place and told a very good story. Did you watch it?
Never seen a single episode. In fact, I've not seen much of Breaking Bad. I've only really seen the first 2 seasons of Breaking Bad.
Me neither.
Oh man, Breaking Bad is awesome, right? So it turns out Breaking Bad is a little bit part of the much bigger Better Call Saul story, and that really worked. But the early seasons are a bit weak, but it built to a very clever finale, making it a recommend. Right, this is a recommend. A lot of like there's about 5-6 seasons of it. Something not recommended. Getting a ride from Colin Baker. Do you remember this? August 22nd.
Yeah, I did feel for him, but at the end of the day, he did commit a crime.
I mean, like, come on. What can I tell you? Oh, well, Dr. Alex, I want to ask you a question. You have a video out about how to make an audiobook, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, you said something earlier that really resonated with me. We've really got to get more sharing into how to make a community.
Yes,
that can make stuff that's not dependent on mainstream media.
Yep. Because I made
because
sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. No, obviously I made season 12 into an audiobook, which I've shoved out on Amazon, Audible, same thing basically.
And also, season 12 is an alternative Doctor Who story with a Peter Capaldi Doctor.
Yeah, carrying on with the Capaldi-ish Doctor from was it Twice Upon a Time? I always forget the name of the last episode he's in.
That's right. Yeah.
So basically, it's rejigging from the beginning of Twice Upon a Time, really, and rewriting the Jodie Whittaker Farag mess out of the picture nicely, but without saying it wasn't there. It just makes it a nice has a nice explanation for it, and then carries on with Capaldi all the way through. But yeah, that, as you know, Bob, was a YouTube series from 2019 onwards. Then we turned it into the books, and then you put fantastic covers on it. But the YouTube series itself was the audio for an audiobook. So I tarted it up quite a bit. That actually took more work than I'm ever made claim to. But yeah, it took quite a bit of work to make it to my level of acceptability. But
I tell you, listen, tarting something up is a good thing to do. I'm a fan of the tarting. Let me tell you, you can't tart too much for me.
I well tarted away, but those became the chapters of the audiobook. I had to make some additional bits of recording to go around the audiobook, like sample that goes on Audible and Amazon and other things. But what you were saying was, I want to tell people how to make an audiobook, because I've done it now. I've sweated my way through it. I've got it past their own quality controls, which are not impossible to pass, as some people on the net seem to think before I started. It's like, will I ever bother to do this? They seem to be saying it's impossible. No, it's not. So I want to tell people how, because I want people to do what I'm doing, what you can do, what everyone can do, is make your own audiobooks. It is possible. You have the material there. You can do it. So yeah, again, I want to make an
honestly, there's so much talent out there, right? I really got to get tell Problem Being about this, because he knows a bunch of people, and the repeated thing from going over this year was how much corporate media is garbage. Like, you can't rely. They had 2 watchable shows. That's about it. Exhibit A. I mean, this was.
That's your example, the She-Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, what's worse, watching an episode of She-Hulk or getting an anal fisting? I don't know. It's it depends on the fist, I guess. Very, very, very confusing. So anyway, She-Hulk. Let's just forget about that. Then we have one of the stupidest rumors of the year. That what's her name is going to be Rose Ailing Ellis is going to be the companion. So I was like, oh, look at that, a normal looking a girl who's vaguely attractive. That's good. And it was like, it was quiet. Nobody knew what to say, right? And then they say play a clip, and she's like, oh, I'm the dog. I'm like, really? So she like, it didn't really work. So I just imagined, you are a prisoner of the Daleks. Well, Dad, I can't hear you. Where's your sign language? I mean, like, it's thank God Millie will not be having that trouble. Will inclusive casting help or hinder Rossi Davis' new Doctor Who? More of the media desperate for this, like, identity casting bollocks, right? Just going on and on. But you know who ignored the identity casting bollocks and they actually did something very, very good? Game of Thrones. Who good? And a great thumbnail. Hey, look at this. I'm doing what HBO did to Game of Thrones. Hurry up and finish before we're cancelled. Thanks for the second season.
That takes some front to put that thumbnail out. Jesus Christ.
This is what I used to shoot on painting, but it was actually quite good.
Yeah, I love this show. It's one of the highlights of my year. Every episode was a delight.
That and Peacemaker were the two shows of the year. Completely agree. A real surprise. Everything else, dross, man. Absolute dross. Fine. We got... so this was a great story. This was from August 26th. that they were conned into it, right? Because they said it was... Well, I don't know. They're normies, right? They're normies, I mean, I think everyone who knows how bad it was with Peter Davison, and then he's told to keep his mouth shut. This is totally the 6th anniversary. Yeah, I can totally see that happening. Meanwhile, Noel Clarke's continued uncancelling happened, and you see how the angry Jodie Beck gets smaller and smaller. That's what's happening in reality, right? That's totally what's happening in reality. Completely vindicated. But did that help John Barrowman? Not really. He had a bit of a rough time of it, right? Definitely had a rough time of it. And that was the end of August. Then we're on to September, and things take a bad turn. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, God. This was so bad.
Best decision
so
I made
bad.
this year was deciding not to watch this, not to give it a moment of my time.
I'm with you, and I did the same.
Oh, I watched it to review it, and it was worse than you could possibly imagine. It was like, wow, what? Like, why have your main character be an insufferable cunt? I like that's not entertaining, right? That doesn't work. Don't have your main character be an insufferable cunt. That's a really bad idea.
My poor cohort on Type 40, Sarah, watched every single episode, and she even made videos about it. She's a massive Lord of the Rings fan.
Me too.
Let's
That's why
only speak to Sarah. I got a reply. I never replied to her. She sent me a message. It was like a couple of days. I never replied. I feel so bad.
She'll understand.
I'm so sorry I didn't reply.
She's a very
She's
very understanding woman. She'll understand.
But I mean,
I know. But
why would you?
Anyway, oh God,
why would you watch this?
This is worse than anybody's expectations.
We were already disappointed by The Hobbit, which was spun out over 3 movies, which it shouldn't have been. The only way to watch that is the There and Back Again version, which has condensed the 3 movies into 1 3-hour movie, and that's actually not bad.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's really good, but that's already a warning. That was a very talented bunch of people forced to do something very stupid, and it's still not watchable until somebody else mushed it down into a 3-hour movie. What on earth would make you think this bunch of clowns would do anything decent with it on Amazon Prime?
This is not watchable under any way, shape, or form. It's so incompetent, as well as being so like, you know what this is? If you've ever seen Star Trek Discovery, and thank God you haven't, it's the British crew is the Muppet Babies, right? These like absolutely ineffectual pussy losers, and somehow they are not raped and murdered each week, which they really should be, right? I mean, they really absolutely should just have been raped and murdered over and over again by Orion syndicates, right? And there's technology stolen, but they keep succeeding, right? These are the people who make it.
Right, to give STD some credit here, that's one of the few series, in fact, the only series of crap that I actually did watch some of. I watched the first 6 episodes before I went, fuck this. This is a pile of shite. This is ruining my memories of Star Trek.
I even like the first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I even like the first 6 episodes of it. I like the Klingon orcs. I like Harry Mudd. I like
Alex, you can't possibly imagine how much worse that show got.
Oh yeah, I can. But that's what's
it's so worth watching an episode.
That's why I didn't watch any of the Chimbal Jodie Whittaker because I didn't want something.
Okay.
And again, I didn't want to ruin my memory of what there was.
Alex.
So it was a great warning of what was to come.
Okay, this is your channel, right? This is your channel. You will watch things on headphones and do a live commentary, and you can watch along on these things you haven't seen before.
No.
I would love to see that. Oh my God, that would be so
not watching
awesome.
this shit. I didn't watch it the first time. I'm not going to do it. What for some sort of masochistic, weird pleasure? No.
You'd be amazed how many people out there do it.
I do all the time, baby.
Alex, I'm with you. I couldn't do it either.
Yeah.
It's the genre equivalent of slamming your balls into a drawer. Yeah,
it's not my thing. I'm not a Tory MP.
Anyway, so speaking of things that are completely forgettable, do you remember this trust was the Prime Minister?
What a great segue.
That's one of your best ever. That is seamless.
So, of course, Toxic Doctor Who fan had a meltdown about that, and they were outraged about this. It's like really like you know what you need to whipped up the energy. She was gone in 20 minutes. Leave us alone, right? But no, they just their ongoing screaming meltdown. Oh, it's been so like I really got to just tune this out next year, right? It's just like it's a small screaming dying group. Thank God they're going. They're so twiggered. But of course, but on September 11th, we had a very sad day. Another September 11th. That was a sad day. The Queen and I remember the morning. So yeah, that was right after she died. The funeral was the next day, I think, or a week later.
It was a week and a half, I think.
Sorry,
I think it was around a week and a half.
So this was right after she passed. But yeah, how unwatchably bad can it get? It's so much worse. The Baltimore Snowman, like I'm sad that they stopped the animations, but this was not good. Like I'm glad I didn't buy more crap ones. What can I tell you? Okay, so yeah, I dealt with this today in a video. Never stops. This line never stops. Sorry, media. No matter how many times you say it, there was no sexist backlash against Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. I know you kept telling us that there was. You're lying cunts. We know you're lying cunts because we caught you lying. Okay, the cunt, I'll admit, that's my editorial, right? I suspect that you're cunts, okay? I just suspect it. You probably are. But you are lying. So, yes, it never happened.
We'll be fighting this. We'll be fighting this narrative for a very long time to come, I think.
And every time I say it, I take a piss all over it.
Yeah, as I just said, it was the STD that put me off Jodie Who, and that's got nothing. I'm sure that has nothing to do with Jodie Whittaker.
No. It was just unbearably bad. The whole thing. Eggy Thorpe, it says here the only reason you wouldn't like Orphan 55 is because you're a sexist. I was so paid to watch you watch Orphan 55. Fuck me.
Me again.
I was
wishing harm upon my.
I would so pay for that. Not much, but yeah, listen, that sounds awesome. I would love to see that. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Encore here. Would you like to swim through this cesspool? Well, that sounds like a great idea.
Yes. But listen, do you ever have trouble sleeping? Do you ever have trouble falling asleep?
I did last night. Yeah.
Because I can help you. Disney Plus has the answer for you in this incredible insomnia cure. Star Wars Andor. Oh, me. A 2-hour story told over 10 hours. It's so boring.
Damn shame.
Hours upon hours. Not bad, but like in one episode, a character gets a bus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character in it who's supposed to like echo Javert from the Les Miserables, right? Or the Glums, as I call it. Who's just like pointless. It's always. I mean, some of it's good, but like mostly it's cut down 80% of it. It's a show made entirely from was it deleted footage?
Really?
Yeah, BBC. We're up to the 23rd of September. BBC super embarrassed, right, about the finale. I have to tell you, it's the best thing they've done. Eccleston hates Mark Strong. Neil Gaiman loves Babylon 5, and also is a bit of a cunt.
Why
right?
does Eccleston hate Mark Strong?
They didn't get on when they worked together.
When did they work together?
Friends in the North, was it? My guess.
Okay.
I don't know. One of the standouts of Big Finish that year, though, September 25th, was This Is Awesome. Right, this is one of their best releases for the Fifth Doctor. It's essentially genesis of the Autons, sort of, as a very, very organically Fifth Doctor story. This is the second of a two-part box set where the Fifth Doctor is adrift in his timeline. Right, he's just regenerated, and suddenly he's much further forward, and he jumps to different points in his timeline. So he ends up here in this. I think 6 or 8 part, I think 6-part Alton story, and explains what's going on with him, what's going on with that, and it's got Atlee as master, and this is just everything that's good about the Fifth Doctor. John Coltrane plays a brigadier perfectly.
Should have been the Fourth Doctor.
I'm sorry.
It looks a bit Douglas Adamsy. Shouldn't it have been the Fourth Doctor?
No. This is not Douglas Adamsy. This is if you want Douglas Adamsy, there's
apart from the title, then.
42. Their title has not been good, right? This was this box set was to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Fifth Doctor, right? 40 years in time and space or something would have been better, but 40 their titling is really bad. Fine. So, was it still playing? Yeah, look at this. This is how awful this year is. It is still going on. Right? I
just saw the rocket coming out there.
Stops.
Oh yeah, Austin Powers.
Exactly. This is like Jeff Bezos, right? Who would have thought this would be a more embarrassing failure than Jeff Bezos' penis-shaped rocket ship? Jeff Bezos did have a penis-shaped rocket ship. There you go. Coming to the end of September, we had The Abominable Snowman. Wasn't very good. Give it a miss. Then we're in October, and Doctor. Yeah, they can't stop obsessing about Jews. It's so weird. They are like Cartman from South Park, right? They really are. They're like be a Demi here. I hate anti-Semites and can't stop obsessing about it. Yeah, I know, weirdos.
The sight of Jeremy Corbyn would make anybody feel bilious.
Oh man! So so then we're finally getting towards the end of like Jodie's final story, but they can't have any. They don't put any marketing in. We can't have any trailers of the movie, especially because they have spoilers. We don't want spoilers. It's because it's shit, isn't it?
I have a question for you. Why did you make Chimbal look so emaciated? I mean, he always looks like overstuffed to me. I mean, what did you do to him?
It's actually a female model wearing. I think it's a female model wearing a Jodie t-shirt, which I put his head on.
Right.
I think because
I also use it for the caricature one where I make his head very big. But that's you learn these little things. The BBC's beacon marketing on the power of the Doctor reluctantly begins. All right, kid. I think my career might be salvageable. You still are screwed. That's right. How Mandy got another job, I don't know. Who'd you have to blow to get that? I don't imagine her blowjobbing skills will be much better than her acting, which were quite wooden, right? I'll be scared of getting a splinter or two, okay?
Painful.
So October 8th, Crowley says, fuck off once again to Doctor Who. I'd rather put my cock in a blender than deal with the woke fucks in the BBC again. Toxic men! Yes. This is unfortunate. Alan Moore researched about resurgence of fascism, whilst unfortunately failing to notice an actual resurgence of fascism. Whoopsie.
He tends to live his life in a bit of a bubble, doesn't he, Alan Moore? I think it's feasible that he hasn't noticed what's been going on.
Could be. Again, I like to think Alan Moore, if he saw this thumbnail, would enjoy it, right? I think he would like that. That's just me for you. Jodie Whittaker celebration, looking back at the terrible era, the plot holes, bad dialogue, toxic fans, idiotic lecturing. We remember it all. The slow, painful, woke death of G4 TV. G4 TV, the lowest viewed thing in media for 2022. It is an absolute failure. Maybe be the first to say, fuck off, Jodie. You were awful. Icky thump, what an honor. Plowing through. Bracing for impact is coming. Yeah, what a lie. We're not 100% confident.
You drove them absolutely wild on Twitter with these thumbnails. You know, some of the they hated you for it.
2022. So then, towards the night before Geordie. If I put my whole time on Doctor Who in the context of one word, the word I would use is joy. Actual quote from interview.
Unbelievable.
I had the flames in the background. Keep going. Then the glorious day is nearly here.
Oi.
It's Chips and Jodie fucking off Eve. You live stream. It's the final countdown. Yes. Okay. We had 2 final countdowns. Look at that. 1 final countdown. They promptly live stream down. This was the final countdown. As with Chips and Whittaker. Way to go, fucking bye. We take a piss on their turgid legacy. And then it's over.
I've only just noticed you got Chris Chibnall dressed as a pimp in the last one.
What the hell?
You look like Oogie Bear.
We will literally do anything to get you to watch Icky Thorpe. Please say my legacy for the lowest ratings ever.
I have seen this thumbnail before, but unsurprisingly, I was staring at Mandy Gill's enormous breasts. So I hadn't noticed.
You don't know the gag. That's the trouble. Sorry if I brought your little kiddie time travel show. But Icky Thump, I did it my way. Oh, God, she's gone. And this was weird, right? This is what the weird Jodie fans think romantic love looks like. No, this is how you cradle a baby, you weird pedophile fucks. Will you stop? So this is the entirety of the Tasman content for the episode. That's more than Tyler's child got, Icky Thump. And then everything changed. We went from the 24th to the 25th, the 10th effect. Jodie Whittaker instantly forgotten. House of Dragon do wing beaters stick the land? Yes, they did. The Battle for Superman, Henry Cavill versus J.J. Abrams' bipoc Superman, they're both dead. And just like that, the Normans started caring. It started being excited about. Being excited by it, talking about Doctor Who again. Which led to this weird phenomenon. But on the 26th of October, the mainstream media's unbearable angst at David Tennant's return to Doctor Who. I really, really like this, but don't want to admit I was wrong about Jodie Whittaker. Yes, this has been the shadow of the year that we lived in since then, right? Dr. Alex, have you noticed a shift in consciousness?
I did notice that some of my colleagues at work almost immediately said, "Oh, what do you think of Shooty as the Doctor?" Whereas they've not been saying anything about Doctor Who until that point. Yes.
Look, I had was it Mega Geek on the other day, and I said, "Look, I think Shooty seems really charismatic." Like, really? You think so? I'm like, to me, he does. Logo reveal and Shooty were the first official promo, and that's how you say. Whittaker say the Whittaker Chibnall era was unwashable garbage without saying it was unwashable garbage. They went back to the diamond logo.
Yeah.
Right? They went back to the diamond logo.
The biggest klaxon going off for the brand was seeing this appear within a day and a half of them disappearing.
Yes. So then this new phenomenon appeared of Chibnall flagellation. Which I think I captured in the thumbnail. Cultural vandalism, you're doing 20 in the cube, creep. But I guess what the BBC said they wanted. I mean, that is true. Does this mean that they're not turning black or gay? No, they're turning black and gay, probably. Who knows? But then, at the end of October, things got weird. Is Kanye West anti-Semitic? Turns out, yes.
Well, didn't you make 2 videos on this subject? And your original, I thought you were very generous towards this, man.
Yeah. I was trying to be, but then the next day he's like, yeah, no, I don't differentiate between Jews. They're all the same. I'm like, well, there's no real easy way to spin that, right? I felt bad for Dave Chappelle, who really went out of his way to like defend him. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll listen to Dave Chappelle. But okay, so my take on this
Dave Chappelle still defending
the end of day scenario for me.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No, Dave Chappelle jumped for cum.
I don't think anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, who could?
No, you can't. It's crazy.
I've never heard any.
This is very good. This is very good news for Trump. It is because the voters that they'll peel off from the way they win elections now is by having this weird conglomeration of people who don't normally vote, who sign over their ballots to people, right? So a lot of those, enough of a percentage of that will give their sign over their votes to Kanye instead, right? I think he's going to have a good ballot harvesting campaign, and I think he's going to destroy the Biden Democrat ballot harvesting. I think in a weird twist of irony, right? I think he's going to chip away from Biden because listen, it's relying on anti-Semitism never really hurts you, right? Let's be fair, it's never really been that much of a has been no. When you come out and very open about it, it normally works out okay. And I think there's a large. I think he's going to get a bunch of white people vote for him as well, right? I think he's going to get the KKK vote. I really do. So, but I think essentially he's taking the black vote, enough of a portion of the black vote from the Democrats. So he's probably going to be dead by 2024. So there you go. You heard it here first, folks. Will he be killed by a much bigger dragon? Probably. This was one of the best special effects of the year, right? There's this. You never saw this, Dr. Alex, right?
No, I am sorry.
Okay, fine. So there's this bit where this kid is on a dragon, and the dragon's huge, right? And there's somebody on a dragon much bigger. So he's flying away from the much bigger dragon, and you just see him fly overhead, and you get to see the scale, right, of the different ones as you see the shadow of the bigger dragon, and you know it's going to go down badly, right? They're going to go down badly. But you know what's going to go down well is the Disney Plus deal. It's huge. Broke on October 30th, right? There is a lot of money going into this, and Disney is desperate for a hit. You know, their Star Wars hotel is at 25% occupancy over Christmas, their busiest time.
Wow.
That's a complete and total failure.
That is weird, yeah.
Yeah, they really screwed that up. Now I theorize they might be too small for Big Finish. Might be too small for Doctor Who in this new landscape. As Rusty Davis is doing Dark Season with them next year, that for me says Big Finish is probably safe, right? Either that or Bad Wolf is going to buy them, and there's going to be Bad Wolf Audio as a streaming service. Gunning for Greatness. Everyone's very excited on October 31st. There's much wailing and gnashing of teeth now when James Gunn has announced the head of
He
DCEU.
makes one decision that people don't like and they turn instantly against him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It really is. Well, again, I got to hear see what his plan is.
Exactly.
But like,
he hasn't even said anything yet.
Dr. Alex, have you followed this story at all?
Only the most vague way I knew it was in.
Okay, so James Gunn, he did Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually watched Suicide Squad last night. It's very entertaining. It surprised me how entertaining it was. Right,
the original one.
So he was put in charge of as the creative director of DCEU, and then he ended up getting rid of I think all of the Zack Snyder people, like Henry Cavill. I think Wonder Woman might be out as well. So basically, he wants to go for a much younger thing, is what he said. But it was like really pissed off. Much wailing and gnashing of teeth. But like on October 31st, they were all happy, right? More media hating on classic Doctor Who because Jodie Whittaker looks bad. The more she looks bad, the more they freak out. On November the 4th, I do this wonderful thumbnail, right? I believe that we're going to find out that David Tennant, the Doctor, has been in the Toymaker's realm for many, many, many years, and the entire Whittaker era took place there. But boy, did that thumbnail take a lot of work.
I'm worried about how RTD intends to do that, though. I still think this could be messily complex, overcomplicated, or it can end up throwing out some babies with the bathwater here. We might lose essentially Matt Smith and Capaldi, since it seems to be going straight back to
no. Okay, this is what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to say he regenerated into Whittaker, and she's been in the Toymaker's realm ever since, right? So everything happened, right? And but it's been a facsimile.
Which is still unsatisfactory. I mean, the fact that she's an actual incarnation of the Doctor is itself
but then
a
in
pile
your
of poo.
headcanon, you could see. You can say in a headcanon, you could say she was addled by being in this weird Toymaker realm, right? And then you could just write it off, and it's gone. But bring back Capaldi. Yeah, this show, man, watch the first episode and the last episode. Everything else missed. Capaldi had a great performance. The central premise wasn't as good as they thought it was. Right, we'll also say that. You didn't. This is okay. If this was a BBC show from the 70s, it would have been 3 episodes long, which is about the length of the story. But they made it like 6 or 8 episodes. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. What did work though? This was a lot of fun. Kaleidoscope. What was I going to say? By the way, Dan, what time do you have a stream starting? A show starting?
I haven't got a stream. I haven't got a stream start tonight. I'm not live, but I am dropping a video at 8 o'clock. So I have got to shoot in a minute because I've got to get a few things done. Yeah.
Right.
So 8 o'clock on the
I'm in
Facebook
November. I'm trying to wrap up. Do you want to share the thumbnail for your stream? And
I've got something. Hold on a second. This is what's going on later on. Where is it? There it is. this is what's going on later on the Spacebook channel at 8 o'clock. It's the second of the Type 40 extras that we put out this week. So this is something people got in touch with me and asked for, because obviously we wrapped up on Type 40 Live for Christmas. We always take a good 4-6 weeks away in between seasons of that show so we can have a bit of a rest. But people wanted to know what we thought of the trailer. So that's what we've done. We've recorded a special Type 40 extra. It's on at 8 p.m. tonight for a good hour or so.
Ian was on my channel on Tuesday night. He had to leave to go and record this.
To go and record that, you're absolutely right. Yes, he said, I've just been on the Rabbi show. And so they've got that one. And then a couple of days ago, I dropped a little video where I picked my way through all these latest rumors that have come about the possible spin-offs from Doctor Who that may happen on Disney Plus in the coming years. So that's for you to pick, to decide, to pick the wheat from the chaff, what's viable and what isn't.
That one today. That was pretty good.
Yes, so thank you for that.
Very good.
But yeah,
so go 25 minutes.
Yes.
I'll try not to step on you.
No,
okay,
no,
fine.
I'm good.
It's 25 minutes, and we're what month? We're in November. November 7th. Okay, so far November 7th. I want to try and wrap up shortly, because I really want to try and get this video out by tomorrow to do so I can get the overview of the year in before New Year's. Anyway, one of my many overviews. This is going to be about a 3-hour one. So Kaleidoscope. This was really fun. Well, there was was it? There was another story called a TV show around the same time by Bob Baker. What was it called again? About a traveler from another dimension on ITV.
Sky.
Anyway, so this kind of ate that. Sky, right. So basically, imagine a Sky Doctor Who crossover, and it's a lot of fun, right? It's a lot of fun. It works very well. This range has been excellent all the way through. Doctor Who magazine, welcome back, Doctor Who. Rusty Davis explodes with excitement in the late. Yes, Doctor Who magazine suddenly regenerates and becomes readable again overnight. It's just the strangest thing. We start to see how much money is going to be coming in, which is a lot. This is November 13th. Russell, shouldn't you be making Doctor Who? Do what you want, mate. I'm spending the next week in a brothel. Will Hadley, a viewer of your channel and mine, Will Hadcroft, I should say. Your Hadley.
You're close.
Will Hadcroft, your channel and mine wrote this. Did you listen to this yet?
I have.
It's a lot of fun.
I've got a review coming of this as well. Yeah, he's in fact, Will's going to come on and talk to me about it. We're going to get into the whole process behind the writing of the Resurrection Plant.
Yeah, this was totally started life as a Virgin New Adventure, and you could really tell. It really feels like I could imagine the Seventh Doctor in this story, but it also worked with the Second Doctor. This is, I would just say, do not judge a book by its cover. This cover is awful. Like, it's absolutely awful. The story is pretty darn good.
I did wonder if it was November regenerating 14th. Into a banana.
No. Well, maybe he did. I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't think so. But November 14th, get your bingo card or outrage ready, because we have Costume Gate. Yes. It's the first time they got
another round of lunacy.
Yeah. Well, we've just had the Skinny Gate. Now we had Costume Gate. So did you see about this, Dr. Alex? The crazy Twitter people were really mad that in this trailer, Donna Noble calls the Doctor the skinny man. He said, "Oh no, that's body shaming." Yeah. By November 14th, this is way better than Living American 2022. It helped me understand, the movie mission and the nature of Christian faith, I should say, specifically. There is from my, again, theological point of view, I think the end of days is supposed to work out to a point where you go there, oh, everything's hopeless. We can't. There's no way we can get out of this. And I think that's what the midterms essentially were. Doctor Who magazine comic strip, very important to Doctor Who now, as the 14th Doctor first hour is explored over the next year. So this is basically reflushing all the Jodie Whittaker stuff that you would recognize, gone forever, and so the normies won't have to ask about it, right? Essentially, great little. I should say so. Where was it? Then Dave Chappelle, yes, from November 17th, waded into this. This is just before Kanye really went off the edge. This was excellent. David Warner's, I think, final turn of this. This is an alternate David Warner Third Doctor in with Bernie Summerfield as his companion. It's really a Bernie Summerfield release in Berlin in the late 30s, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. It is one of the best releases in this range. I absolutely love this. It really exemplified everything that's great about this. And everything that's great about Doctor Who was exemplified by this wonderful bit of news we got. I came out, this was on a Saturday night, I found out that the companion was a normal female without a penis. It helped me deal with, what's the name? Was it
Yasmin Finney?
Was it Miriam?
Oh.
So JNT was.
I've got a question.
Miriam Margaret said, "Well, I thought that."
I have a question.
Yes,
it has nothing to do with that you lusting over anyone.
Yes.
If the Doctor's mother is returning, is this just another nod to all that timeless, charmless child bollocks was bollocks?
No, the mother's not returning. Have you heard this?
Well, it says the Doctor's mother returns on there. I'm going on your thumbnail.
No, okay. I bring up the bollocks rumors and then I joke about them. That's my thing. I use this image quite liberally for the next couple of days. Then after a small gap of 30 years, we had on November 22nd, we had Miracle Man: The Silver Age started. Again, been waiting about 30 years for this. I think by issue 3, I'm going to be onto new material. It's the Doctor Who Nearly Birthday show, and we see how wonderful Millie has been for the brand already. Thank you, Millie. You're fantastic. This made the toxic fans crazy, absolutely great, but not how much this one did. This really made them go crazy. How Doctor Who got an upraid. The inside story into Rusty Davis introducing 14th Doctor by Rusty Davis, David Tennant, and more. Mm-hmm. I can feel my ratings go up already. This made them crazy.
When you put
this was November 23rd. November 25th. We're nearly up to December. Oh. Well, I want to push through so I can get done. If you need to go, let me. I don't want to keep you hostage. But where are we up to? Yes, they finally found a way of selling Jodie Whittaker action figures. Have no reference to Jodie Whittaker. I have the minimal reference to Jodie, and have a brand new David Tennant going along with them. By the way, somebody pointed out his pants and waistcoat are almost identical to Neil Patrick Harris's pants and waistcoat, as supposedly the toy maker, which is interesting to point out.
It is, but it'll go nowhere. It'll go nowhere. It's like when it's like in my view. I mean, I haven't seen the bloody thing, obviously, but people are really running with that. And to me, it's no different to in Star Trek: The Next Generation, where Q is taking the piss out of Picard and he clicks his fingers and he's in a Starfleet uniform. It's just something like that.
Yeah, I think you probably like that. Yeah, so then we go. They kept talking about the spin-off, spin-off crazy. More about the show media's agonizing, confused reactions. The new Doctor Who companion, Mel Gibson.
Awesome.
Mate, you companion, Gibson's making my knickers too tight, and I don't understand. You should see me when I really glam up. Yes, I should. Yes, I should, darling.
Guys, I hate to duck out. I hate to duck out when you're about to reach a crescendo, Rabbi, but I've got to fly.
Yeah, I'm coming to a climax. I'm edging a bit. That's true.
This could be for the best. I'll leave Dr. Alex to take the full load. Good to see you, Alex. Happy New Year, my friend, and cheers for the invite as always, Rabbi. Good to see everybody in the chat.
Get the wet wipe ready. Thank you for joining. Okay, this looks very good. A 1970s talk show with Louise Jameson and Murray Douglas with the Autons. This does look good. Kanye West, I think, has mental illness and psyops. Story for 2022. The only way Donald Trump can win the 2024 election, I don't think it's possible, right? I think the only way it's possible is some kind of like external miracle, either an alien invasion or a messianic event, right? I don't think you can possibly break the ballot harvesting thing. Wednesday Addams, Tim Burton taking the Addams Family for Netflix. I saw one episode of it. And I was like, she wasn't bad. The casting actor, it was a girly show about girls that I'm not really interested. I would have seen her in an ensemble. I would have watched the Addams Family. I'm not really that interested. But then again, amazingly, Disney Plus put out something good. I love this. James Gunn, everything he does is great. Phoebe Waller-Bridge showed her evil face again as December began. Indiana Jones and Dallas Destiny trailer reaction. Phoebe Waller, who? Is she going to become Indiana Jones? Did you hear this rumor?
I heard this rumor, and I've watched quite a few Doomcocks movies on films, vids on this one. But it's just I really have no interest in watching this Indiana Jones movie. I mean, the Crystal Skull is actually not as bad as people say. You can rewatch the Crystal Skull and not be entirely appalled, but I think that's probably where you should leave it. Never go beyond that point.
I think they shouldn't have gone to Crystal Skull, quite frankly.
It's not great. But it's not terrible.
And suddenly we're in December. We're in the Christmas zone. We have a news gather. And again, Millie, you look fantastic. I don't care if you're naughty or nice. I'm bringing the best Christmas ever. And this is before we knew about the trailer. With only the very best stocking stuffers. I do like the elf David Tennant and Millie. This is when the TARDIS interior leaked. That was about 2 weeks ago. A gratuitous sexy picture of Catherine Tate, and why not? As I went over we had a quite a few bits of merch coming out. Just sending out some love, peace and love to John Barrowman. Love a bit of John Barrowman. Having a bit of a rough time. Toxic fandom makes a national press, right? I mean, they are really getting out of control. The new console room, so this might be it. We don't know. So Donald Trump declares all-out war and everybody in power. Probably 7 years too late.
On the previous
again,
one, it does look a lot like.
Media,
it looks a lot like my console room,
weeks.
by the way.
Yes, he does.
It does look a lot like my console room. Yeah. Suspicious. Very suspicious.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I added a tint to this. So anyway, so I was saying, it turns out social media, everywhere is used to surveil people. This is not a conspiracy theory anymore. The function of social media is to surveil you and control a population and censor your speech. It's completely replete with people working from the intelligence services. And this is what the Twitter files just dumped recently. It's like, so the government specifically says who can and can't talk. This is if we had a free press, this would be a big deal. But we don't, so everything's okay. People are mad at James Gunn. This happened at Christmas. Blake 7 box set. Oh, this kills me. Do you like Blake 7? You ever seen it?
It's a long time since I've seen it, but I do remember it being good. Yes.
So anyway, so they're doing these what's I going to say?
Got the theme tune in my head now.
What's it? Adaptations of them, right? For these novelizations of them, I should say, right? Of oh man, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons right now. Hang on, try and do two things at once. That's never a good idea. Fine, I'll switch slides. So they're doing these novelizations of them. They all look very, very good. The set costs £100, and then the shipping for me in Israel, the whole thing will come to about $200. Too rich for my blood, baby. Too rich for my blood. I'm afraid I'm out of that. Rusty Davis was awesome. He gave us a trailer on Christmas Day, and I just think that just because I think he loves the fans. Do you know who Frobisher is?
I've heard of the Penguin, but I've not seen or anything with the Penguin in.
So the Penguin is almost certainly coming. And one second, we go. Let's get us right through to the new year. right? So so they had a media meltdown. We have the toxic fandom still
I do love that.
hilarious melting down. Then on Saturday night, we have the countdown 2023 is in 2 parts. I think at 7 o'clock we're going to drop this this story, where I go through all the SFX and Doctor Who magazine covers for the first 6 months of the year, and you really get to see the repeated themes, like so many. The year of so many failed girl bosses, we couldn't even fit them all on the thumbnail. Right, looking back at 2032 in Doctor Who Nerdom and beyond. To look forward. So that's at 7. That goes for about an hour and a quarter. And then at 11 o'clock, you get time. So you get the countdown exactly at midnight. We get the Rabbi from another planet, Hogmanay. Take the piss. As the sands of time run out, we do the next 6 months. And we have to say, I thank you very much to Nicola Bryant and Millie Gibson, who clearly posed for this cover, and that wasn't Photoshop at all. Rabbi, I don't think that's a cable you're tossing. Oh, darling, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. And there we go. That is the year in review, right? Do you have any standout moments from the year you would like to recount?
Oh, what, from this year just gone? I would say the release of the audiobook, The Doctor Season 12, on Amazon and iTunes and Audible.
I will say that was such a great event. It actually made me sexually erect. Okay, that's how excited I was. You know, and you know, I'm an old man.
Yeah,
it takes quite a lot to do that to me. So you know,
my other standout event from this year was actually receiving half a story from you.
There you go. There you go. That just killed my erection right there.
I fell off my chair.
With that, I'm going to wrap up. Join me tomorrow. We have some great content. The stuff I got coming out those 2 days is very good. So join me there and count down the new year with me. Gonna hit the Emperor.